from the Sacramento Kings, a 3-team trade with the Chicago Bulls. Spurs send out Sidi Sissoko, Zach Collins, and Trey Jones, along with multiple draft picks. Spurs are now gone until March. They start the 12-game rodeo road trip in Memphis tonight. Wemby is questionable with an illness.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. What a Monday it is.
I had nothing going on, is there?
You know, it's the beginning of Super Bowl week.
Is that what it is?
Yes. Look, we'll be in New Orleans starting tomorrow for a Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage. And in all my years of doing this, and this radio station will turn 17 next week.
Just a baby.
Just a baby. Old enough to drive, all of that. And in all the years of Super Bowl week, there's only one other time that Monday was dominated by non-NFL news, and that was 5 years ago. Rob and I had flown into Miami. We were looking for a condo, and the news that Kobe had passed. Yeah. And that Monday on Radio Row was weird because it wasn't about the game. It was about Kobe. And as the week went on, it felt like Super Bowl week. Today, to kick off Super Bowl week, even though we're not on Radio Row today, we will be starting tomorrow. The talk is all about the NBA. Between the Luka trade, what the was that? And then here in San Antonio, we got Fox done. Brian Wright, you get all the credit in the world, my man. All the talk about what it would cost, the fact that, I don't know, Bill O'Brien apparently is working for the Sacramento Kings. You were able to get De'Aaron Fox for a couple of role players and some picks that aren't even really picks. It's incredible.
Yeah, the fact that they keep the Atlanta picks, and it was it was a masterclass. But you know what? Adding Chicago, Sacramento made out okay. They did fine. But we get De'Aaron Fox, the guy that Spurs fans wanted. I certainly did. I know you did as well. And so he's here. And now I'm greedy. It's like, what are we going to do next?
Well,
hey, the trade deadline's not till Thursday. Let's go. We still got a bunch of assets to deal with. What's next? How about a Cam Johnson out of Brooklyn?
Well, here we go.
How about that? Maybe a Mo Bamba. I don't know. There's all kinds of names flying around out there. Let's go. I'm hungry and greedy now.
Well, again, we lost to Zach Collins, so we do need another big. We still need a three-point shooter. We still need that stretch four kind of guy. And you still have a ton of assets. We still have a Keldon Johnson that we could deal.
Yes.
We still have other picks that we can deal. I mean, when you look at, and if you're watching on YouTube, Pledge has gone to the big print machine again with all the assets. You snagged this straight from Bobby Marks, right? Bobby Marks from ESPN. Bobby Marks from ESPN will join us at 3:15 today, live here on the Blitz, to kind of go over this. But all of the stuff that the Spurs still have at their disposal is pretty incredible when you look at it. I mean, when you look at, and a nice job of printing this out, Pledge.
That really is good. I like it.
I mean, your starting five. See, now this is what's going to be curious. Like the starting five right now has Fox, Castle, Vassell, Barnes, and Vic, and Chris Paul as a reserve. See, I still think that Chris Paul is going to be a starter. If he's going to be a Spur, he is going to start. That kind of feels like it was part of the deal.
No, he's not. You're going to go out and get an all-star and sit him on the bench?
No,
that ain't happening.
I think we're going to have Three Littles or Castle coming up the bench.
There's no way Fox doesn't start. It's impossible.
I think Fox starts. I think Castle is the one that goes to the bench, or maybe Barnes, and you have Paul, Fox, and Castle starting. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Mitch Johnson works with the starting lineup. You go back to, why is Chris Paul here and not with a contender? Because he wants to play and not be a reserve. And I think the Spurs would respect whatever agreement they made with him and keep him in the starting lineup.
Well, I respectfully disagree. You're going to go out and get a 27-year-old all-star. I'm sorry, Mr. Paul. You probably knew that this was coming if they got De'Aaron Fox. Look, you're going to have to come off the bench, or they're going to have to figure. You can't disrupt a lineup that is going to be good just because you promised Chris Paul he could play. I mean, Chris Paul's been in the business long enough. Sure. He knows how it is, and that's the way that it is. So he either comes off the bench as the bench point guard, or become a coach. I mean, seriously, it's like he gets the business. He knows what. You don't trade for a De'Aaron Fox and not have him as your starting point guard. You just don't.
Well, and again, I think he starts, but it's going to be interesting. That's why I can't wait to see what the Spurs do with their current group. But I'm like you, I'm greedy. What else are we going to do? You still have a ton of draft capital. And again, you go back to what we were hearing Friday and what it would cost. And I was willing to pay so much more. I was willing to pay so much more.
Being a GM's easy, isn't it?
That's what I hear. I mean, all of you that said lowball them and this, that, and the other, congrats, man. You guys got that one right. Broken clocks. I am stunned that that's the deal. But then again, this was a stunning weekend when it comes to NBA trades.
Do me a favor. Go to Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Because I talk about the Dallas trade and the San Antonio spray. And I think that I set a record by the amount of times I said clown show.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, I think there's a record broken.
Here we go.
So go check that out, will you, at Instagram, SA Sports Star.
At SA Sports Star, clown show. I want to see a bunch of clown emojis in there. Look, if you've got friends that are Mavericks fans, check on them.
Please.
I texted a friend of mine this morning, asked if he was okay, and he said no. Stages of grief. Shock, sad. They're at the anger stage now, and I think they were yesterday by what they were doing in front of that arena. My goodness, what a trade. And the fact that when it all came down, everybody in the world thought that Shams was hacked.
He thought he was hacked.
Well, I mean, it's just so bizarre. I mean, the Mavericks played yesterday afternoon. Jason Kidd looked so pissed off during that press conference. And, it's kind of like at one point in the middle of the night, Jason Kidd got traded when he was like 23. He understands. But Mark Followell is their TV play-by-play guy. And the way he started the broadcast yesterday.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Followell. Devin Harris will join me in a minute. I'm sorry if I look a little haggard today, like a lot of you. I didn't sleep very well last night. We're stunned. We're shocked. We're going through it. You all know what I'm talking about. The end of one era, the beginning of another. The news came down last night in reports, officially this morning at 10:05 Eastern, 9:05 Central Time. Luka Doncic traded to the Los Angeles Lakers with Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick in the future.
Yeah, in the future. I could not believe when I saw that. I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. And look, Anthony Davis is a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Mavericks, the cupboard's not completely empty if he can stay healthy. But you're trading a 25-year-old kid in the prime of his career for an aging veteran. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing, and you're only doing it. And please, get me started on all this. Oh, well, he's too fat. He's out of shape, blah, blah, blah. That dude carried the Dallas Mavericks into the finals last year. He can have all the beer and potato chips he wants if he's going to play like that.
Well, that's it. I mean, out of shape, heavy. I don't care if that dude is drinking a beer and eating a sandwich on the bench. Do what you need. You're Luka. They didn't want to pay him the Supermax. That's what it boils down to. Or they were worried that he wasn't going to sign it, which, the Mavericks with that move cost him a little over $100 million in guaranteed salary, let alone he's now got to pay California taxes. But or we're going to find out there was some other drama going on in the background. But the fact that the Mavericks did a deal, two buddies working a deal, you don't even get the most return for a guy like Luka. If that were on the open market, what would he have gotten?
Oh,
and again, if you're
stunning.
a Mavericks fan, and it will take a while, sure, you get an Anthony Davis in return, and that might work out now, but that's what, a 2 or 3 year run where with a 25-year-old Luka, you've got another decade?
I could not believe my eyes, and I think I'm just like everybody else. I mean, when you saw that come down, it was like, there's no way this is happening. You got to be kidding me. I mean, all kinds of things. And you start looking around to find out what the answer was. But it was, I still can't wrap my head around it. I asked Rob Thompson, who's our basketball expert here at the San Antonio Sports Star. I said, please make this make sense. And he couldn't even make it. He goes, well, there's got to be something else. There's got to be another deal. There's got to be more players. Nobody understands this deal.
On the surface, and until we know what all the background is and find out was there something else going on, it doesn't make sense, and you can't make it make sense. I see Ramiro says his kid's named Luka.
Ouch.
Now he's mad because he named his kid after a Laker.
A Laker.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
How many dogs and cats are named Luka in the Metroplex? I mean, it's like all the dogs and cats named Manu or Timmy around here. I mean, it's insane. And now he's a Laker. Stunning.
Wow.
Stunning.
Stunning deal.
Stunning.
It's incredible. I could not believe my eyes. And then we get the good news last night with the trade for De'Aaron Fox. I'm very, very happy about that. I tell you what, we knew something was coming. It was just a matter of when the trigger was actually pulled, and it was last night. Finally announced that De'Aaron Fox is now a San Antonio Spur.
Again, we'll talk all these massive NBA trades and what else the Spurs might do with former NBA GM, now the guy at ESPN, Bobby Marks, will join us at 3:15. Nancy Armour from USA Today is going to join us at 2:30. Get her thoughts on the NBA trades as well as the Super Bowl this Sunday. Cannot wait. Cowboys making some news today as well. We'll talk about it coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star and on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
The best app for your big game party is actually on your phone. It's called Underdog. Jason Minix here from The Blitz, and Texas sports fans, good news for you. Underdog is available to play in Texas. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the big game. Be like me and many others playing the Pick'em game. And with the Underdog Pick'em game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher, lower on player stats. They've got all the leagues. They've got all the stars to choose from. Create entries with all the football football picks or mix and match across other sports, and Underdog is the only pick-em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. You can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play pick-em. Download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you?
My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time.
Sounds like a dream.
Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Having a party for the big game? Let Smoky Mo's handle the barbecue. Go with the Big Game Rib Party Pack. 3 pounds of delicious Smoky Mo's slow smoked ribs, plus sides. Or get the Tailgate Party Pack, a buffet in a box with brisket, turkey, sausage, and sides. Add in a Baker Bar Group Pack. The chopped baked potato bar is perfect for groups. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue that will make your big game party super. Order online at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Rise and hot!
It's the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway.
You asked for it, you got it!
Predict the exact score of the big game in New Orleans, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com.
I like this kind of party!
The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Deextractor. Score big with Deextractor and Seguin. And 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is The Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. The comments there already rather interesting and entertaining. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Man, what a great day. What a great day. I slept like a baby last night. Fantastic. And now I'm just greedy. I want a shooter or a big fella or both.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
80 degrees outside. It's sunny. Got Fox. Apparently he's going to wear number 2.
Yep. So that Area 51 is intact.
It is. But then you got 2 and you got 1, 21. Tim Duncan.
Okay.
Although
is that a thing?
I don't know. If somebody wore 0, because you have a 2, a 1, and a 0.
Yeah.
For the area code. That'd be even better. But, what pledge?
In Keldon 0?
He is.
Yeah, but he's on his way out. He's gonna. We got to make room for the big. I mean, he's getting a new area code by Thursday.
I just wonder what that says about Keldon. And nice guy, and I hate to bag on this guy, but I mean, did Sacramento just not want him? I mean, I I said in our group chat, I feel bad for them. Can we just throw him in as a consolation prize?
Well, one of the early tweets that I saw that was clearly wrong, which is why I always go back, make sure you trust who's putting what on social media. Because when we first were hearing that the deal was done and trying to figure out the who's, I saw a tweet that said it was either Jeremy or Devin. Clearly, that's not the case. But I think Brian Wright, he's playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers. They probably could have had Keldon in there, but he wanted to hold that chip back because he still needs a big. He's got to have other tradable, plus the good players that are going from Sacramento or from other teams. But you look at some of those picks that are protected, they might turn into seconds. I mean, it's just incredible the job Brian Wright did. Now, for the record, we did ask Brian Wright to come on the show today. I haven't heard back. The request is in.
Maybe he's working another deal.
It's possible.
I'm hoping he is.
But of all days to do your victory lap, Spurs, this is it.
Yes.
This is it.
Celebrate.
Yes.
No, he's got work to do, Jason. He's got work to do. The trade deadline is Thursday, so I'm ready for another deal. I'm ready to have this happen.
You know, the Spurs fans are all thrilled today. Mavs fans, the other way. What's the opposite of that? Ramiro apparently is a Mavs fan, calling in at 210-656-ESPN, 656-37 at 76. The sun did come up today, man. You got that. Ramiro, you're on the Blitz.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. You sure?
Well, it's a lot of process right now. I named my son after Luka, thinking he was to be the franchise, the face, and I don't know what the hell's going on in Dallas. First, we hired Schottmeyer, and then we get rid of Luka. What's going on over there? Like, my son is named after Luka, and my wife's from the Bay Area. So she kicks our butt every year, taking us out of the playoffs. I'm tired of that. I don't know. I need a therapist right now. Where's the seat at?
Hey, man, you know, we are your therapy,
That's
man.
it. You got it right here.
Fraser Crane, we're listening.
Look, 3 years ago, I threw a big playoff party at my house. Niners fans, Cowboys fans, and my wife's from the Bay Area.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
So they kicked our butt. Then they kicked our butt the next time. And then I threw another one for Green Bay Packers, and because my family's from the Bay. I have some family that are Green Bay Packers, and they kicked my butt again. I'm tired of getting kicked in the teeth by Dallas people.
I hear you.
Dallas owners.
Hey, I got one question for you, man. Do you think Luka's too fat?
No, I'm too fat, and I get my job done. He gets his job done.
All right, that's what I wanted to know.
You know, I mean,
no, as long as you can get your job done, hey, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how big or small you are, as long as you get your job done, right?
I mean, your job and my job, because, I mean, if they were worried about conditioning and diet, we'd all be out of work. But when you're a pro athlete, the idea that, but he's still, I mean, do what you need to do. I don't care if he's eating a hot dog, while he's taking his break. I don't care. He's Luka. The lesson learned, and I don't know if it's too late for you to rename your kid Dirk, but always go with legends. Always go with retired legends. That's why I won't buy a jersey. Not that I'm a jersey guy anymore, but don't buy a jersey of a current player. Buy legends, because those won't break your heart.
Change his name to the Brow.
And that's why I listened to. I found y'all out probably about a year and a half ago, and I'm P1. I listen to y'all all day. You and Joe, you're the freaking funniest. Y'all go off the rails, and that's what makes my day. But this stuff you can't take back. You know what I mean? You can't take back this stuff. It's on his birth certificate.
How old is the kid?
He will be 3 in March.
He doesn't know his name yet. He doesn't really know his name. Just start calling him something else. I mean, you can call him Dak.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Kid like that.
You see, that's where it's not cool, because
Dude,
as long as it makes me money.
I mean, just call him Jerry.
Jerry, that's even worse.
I don't know. I mean, the stars right now are still pretty good. Find a hockey player, Mike Modano. Go with the legend. Go with the legend.
Joe Reinagle.
I said a legend. Just go with the legend. It ain't Joe. Ramiro, appreciate you calling in, man.
You'll get over it, buddy.
I don't know if you get over that. If you're a Mavs fan, again, you got Anthony Davis in return. That getting Anthony Davis would excite most fan bases, but not for Luka, and not for what you got in return for Luka. It feels like the haul should have been so much more.
It could have been. It could have been enormous. But who was it? I think we may have this, but somebody said, an NBA player over the weekend called somewhere and said they must hate Luka. Somebody doesn't like Luka in the Dallas Mavericks organization. And it ain't Mark Cuban because Cuban loves the guy.
Well, Mark Cuban famously said a couple years ago he would divorce his wife before he traded Luka. No, I would trade the wife before Luka.
Unbelievable.
But he's clearly not in control. And, Mark Cuban also at one point said that he would not ever sell the Dallas Mavericks. So who the hell knows?
Everybody's got a price.
They weren't going to give Luka $345 million. That's the bottom line.
That's unbelievable to me. Why not?
Trying to make sense of it. And I cannot make sense of it. I can't say that I'm a believer of what I'm going to say, but trying to make sense of it. If his conditioning is that bad and their relationship is to the point where they wondered if he would sign, and I haven't read any reports or heard anything that said there were indications that he wanted out or that he wouldn't sign, and my God, $345 million, he was going to sign that thing. But if they were worried about his conditioning and then he gets that kind of money, and he's never available like a Kawhi, they don't want any part of it. If they were thinking that was the path he's going down, okay. I mean, but then you put him on the open market and you go to the highest bidder. You don't work a secret wink deal with your buddy who you find out that's also the guy that screwed up the Nike deal with Steph Curry. So he's actually done a worse deal before. I mean, it's just such a bizarre thing that unless they're fearful, his work ethic is that bad that if he got that kind of money, he might balloon to 350 and not be able to walk up and down the court, and his availability wouldn't be there. That would be the only thing that would make sense. But then again, you just trade him away and you screwed your buddy. I don't see that. That doesn't make sense.
I don't get the whole availability thing. Guy played 70 games last year.
They're projecting down the road.
Oh, well, please. He's 25 years old, for goodness sake.
And again, I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. They're projecting down the road that...
that makes no sense, if that's what they're thinking.
But again...
That's just crazy
25 in his prime?
Crazy talk.
They don't want to give him $300 million.
Dude, Laker fans are just like going nuts today.
And, of course, it's the freaking Lakers.
They
get everybody.
I mean, it's just it's
now
incredible.
He's going to be motivated to mix in a salad and sit up.
Well, that's been the rumor that LeBron will get him in shape.
Yeah, work ethic. I'll teach you how to take care of your body.
Dude, I don't get this. The guy obviously has no problems. He had a soft injury. That's what he was sitting out for. Hasn't played in a little bit. But the guy has been solid. I just don't get it. And don't you sit down and talk with this guy's representation? Is he going to sign? Is he not? I mean, what are we going to have to do? And then you go out. If that's the case, if you're convinced he's not going to, then you put up a flyer to the rest of the NBA and say, here, Luka's available. Make your best offer. They would have gotten a haul in return.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Wow. I couldn't believe it. But that's their problem. Yeah, that's the Mavericks' problem. No offense, Claymore, but not a Mavs fan.
No.
Don't care. And they get what they deserve. I'm just happy that the Spurs went out and did something. And they skipped a couple of steps, Minix.
Yes, they did.
How about that? They just climbed over two and went out and got an all-star point guard to pair with Victor Wembanyama. And let's go. Let's skip a few more steps today. Doesn't have to be today. Could be tomorrow. Could be Wednesday. I'm fine with that.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
We got till Thursday. We've got till Thursday.
Wow.
Man, lots going on here on the Blitz. Super Bowl this week. We'll be live in New Orleans starting tomorrow. Cannot wait to get down there. Let's talk some Super Bowl coming up. Nancy Armour, columnist with USA Today, joins us next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
The Morning Huddle.
This guy calling me a loser, the guy who couldn't get laid after he took his wife on a date to Lost Maples this weekend.
But see, I can get laid tonight, loser. I can go get some tonight.
Not if you watch the football game.
No.
Your wife's already mad today.
Oh, I'm going to watch the football game, then the Spurs.
I'm going to text her from the other room. You up?
Yeah.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? HIMS can help. Get started at hims.com/joy. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. Tomorrow we'll be live in New Orleans on Super Bowl Radio Row. Let's talk about it with Nancy Armour, columnist with USA Today, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And I know, Nancy, we were going to talk all things Super Bowl, but let's start with the NBA and some of the trades over the weekend, especially with the Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox for damn near nothing.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that this was happening, I was like, wait, what? I mean, I love the move for the Spurs. I've been a big De'Aaron Fox fan since his college days, and I think pairing him with Wemby is just going to be all kinds of fun and gives you guys a really good, nucleus core, whatever you want to call it, going forward. I think like I said, I'm a big fan of that move.
Well, I tell you, everybody here in San Antonio is a huge fan of it too. We've been talking about it for a little while now, and the fact that it broke last night was exciting for everybody and exciting to talk about. The other one, though, that I've got to ask you about is what happened in Dallas. And
I don't know.
I mean, can you please explain it? Because I found no one that can explain it.
No, I mean, I think I was like the rest of the world when I first saw it, on Saturday night. It was like, oh, there's no way. And then to get him basically for like, a bag of basketballs, like what? I got no idea. The only thing I can think of is that there were personality conflicts. But I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care if you don't like a person or you don't like his work. He's Luka Doncic. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand.
Nancy, we're all at a loss. And, it's one thing for guys like me and Joe, but, I mean, you watch anybody on pick your national TV channel, smart columnists like you with USA Today, and none of us have an answer that makes any sense.
No.
My question, though, really, all right, it's one thing that, Nico and Rob, they go way back. They worked out a deal. How does Adam Silver let this slide through?
That's a good question. I don't know all of the rules that the NBA has of exactly when the commissioner can step in. I suppose it's not a whole lot different than it kind of reminds me in terms of a competitive imbalance that this is creating, similar to when LeBron went to the Heat and it became the big three with him and D Wade and Bosh. But that was by choice. That wasn't by, like I said, just giving him away. So I don't know how Silver would step in, but even, okay, say that happens. I mean, clearly, like, the bridge has not just been burned between Dallas and Luka. It has been obliterated. The pieces that are left over have then been incinerated. I mean, there is nothing left. Like, having him go back to that team would be just incredibly toxic. So I'm guessing Silver probably, like I said, I don't know what the rules are for him stepping in, but I guess that he looks at that and goes, me stepping in is not going to make it better.
Well, and if I'm Adam Silver and I would say, hey, if you're that stupid, you got to live with what you just did, right?
I mean, yeah, like that was your choice. I mean, it wasn't as if Luka asked and said, I want out. I mean, this was Dallas's doing. So, yeah, if you want to be dumb, go ahead and do it.
Nancy Armour joining us here on the Blitz, columnist with USA Today. We get ready for the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday. Kansas City going for the three-peat. This is Cowboy country. I think most people listening right now, while there might be Chief fatigue, they don't want to see the Eagles win. So will we see history on a Sunday night in New Orleans?
You know, that's a great question. When you look at what the Chiefs and Mahomes in particular have been able to do, especially in the postseason, it's really hard to pick against them. That being said, they have been living dangerously all year. They seem to have kind of found their groove once the playoffs started, but they haven't looked like themselves, or they haven't looked like what we're used to the Chiefs looking like for most of the season. So I kind of feel like if there's a year that to get them, this would be the year.
Nancy,
and especially, and I know you guys don't want to hear it, but this is a veteran Eagles team, and they have the advantage that they have been here before, and I think that's a huge thing. I was saying to somebody earlier that this isn't like playing the Commanders, who everything would be new to them. The Eagles know how this works.
Well, Nancy, you bring up a good point because, look, Kansas City's Kansas City. And with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, you can never bet against them for sure. But I think when I look at this matchup, the Eagles probably have the most talented team from top to bottom.
Yeah. But it's not by much. I mean, the Kansas City roster is not exactly a bunch of slouches. I do think, we've not seen a running back, at least not in my lifetime, have a season like Saquon has had. And I think he presents a lot of unique trouble. The Chiefs have a great run defense, but it's going to be fun to watch this. And I think, again, because the Eagles have played the Chiefs in this setting just 2 years ago, nothing is going to be a surprise. So I think it's not like Andy can pull anything out of his bag of tricks that Sirianni is not going to be prepared for, which I think actually makes for a good game.
Nancy, I saw a deal over the weekend I was reading where this, like the fourth time that head coaches have met for a second time in the Super Bowl, and surprisingly, the coach that won the first one always won the second one. And that kind of blew me away from what you were just saying. Like the guy would spend more time, like the coach that lost the first time would do more, and historically, while it's rare, hasn't worked out yet. In looking at this matchup, while Jalen Hurts is coming off maybe one of his best games of the season in the NFC Championship game, if Kansas City can do a good job of controlling, slowing down Saquon, can Jalen win this game? If it falls to Jalen's going to be the one that has to make the throws.
I think he can if he's healthy. And we saw him in the NFC game, the whatever the injuries were didn't slow him down. And he's had an extra week to get healthy and get, clean up the aches and pains. But yeah, I do. I mean, I think he's a top tier quarterback, and I think he learned from the game 2 years ago too. I also think too that there's part of Jalen that is, everybody is so quick, and this goes back to his college days, so quick to dismiss him and, say that he's not this, that, and the next. And I think he's got some stake and some want to be able to shut people up, for lack of a better explanation or better term.
When I look at Philadelphia, Nancy, and I see what Barkley has done, obviously that's got to be a huge part of your game plan. But the stars that Jalen has to work with in the wide receiver department, you got to keep those guys happy as well. Do you see Kansas City just making an attempt to shut Barkley down, forcing Hurts to go to the air?
I mean, if they do, good luck to them. I think plenty of teams have tried to do it this season, and not many have had success. But yeah, and I think, there's been all of this talk about A.J. Brown and whether he's sulking or not, which I personally don't think he is. But even if he was, there's no sulking at a Super Bowl. I mean, you are this close to the pinnacle of your career. You are going to do whatever it takes. You are going to play whatever role you have to. So yeah, if the Chiefs do find a way to shut Saquon down, then yeah, I think that, the Eagles receivers will step up.
Nancy Armour from USA Today joining us here on the Blitz. When they met 2 years ago, came down to the wire. Chiefs seem to play a lot of one-score games, especially this year. If it's tight late, no pucker factor for Kansas City. Are you expecting a close game on Sunday?
Yeah, just because that's Kansas City has played a lot of close games this season. Like I said, they've been living dangerously all year. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this game is close. And we should all want that because close games are fun games. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this comes down to the fourth quarter.
So what's going to be better, the game or the commercials in USA Today's ad meter?
Well, I mean, how can you not love the commercials? And for those of you who don't know, we do a commercial rating. It's called Ad Meter. We've been doing it for 37 years. 1989, I believe, was the first time we did it. And starting Wednesday, you can go to admeter.usatoday.com and you can vote on the commercials. We're starting to get the commercials are being released, so we're starting to see them, and you'll be able to watch them on that page. And you can vote until 1 a.m. after the Super Bowl. And there are some good ones. Like I loved the Dunkin' commercials, the Dunkin' commercials last year with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and that is coming back this year. There's a Clydesdale commercial. It's not exactly the Clyde. I mean, it is the Clydesdales, but it's different than what we're used to. And the commercial with Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan is freaking hilarious. Like that alone, you need to be in your seat to watch for.
Now that's a deal on a movie they were in together. Am I correct?
Yes, When Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally.
It is the infamous diner scene.
Yep.
And if you are a certain age, you know exactly what I mean.
I'll have what she's having.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's always fun, and you know, for guys like me and Joe, like. Commercials on, I can go get something else to drink or something else to eat. You can watch all the commercials online either before or after the game. You're not going to miss any of them.
No, because remember that, like, it wasn't that long ago that you had to be paying attention because you couldn't see them any other time. And now you can see them even before the game starts, which is great because you know what you want to watch for and you know the commercials you don't like, so you kind of have a heads up of when to go get a refill on the drinks and the food.
Absolutely, and it starts on Wednesday, the USA Today ad meter. You can start voting. Nancy Armour, always appreciate catching up. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Nancy Armour from USA Today on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.
If I'm paying $8 million a spot for those things, I'd want it shown as many times as I could get it shown.
You know, I'm glad you said it that way, because I think a lot of people look at it. Well, you spent $8 million for that. No, you didn't. It costs you a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, depending on who's in it, what they cost, the production of it. That $8 million is what they're paying Fox for that 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But then you have the cost of producing the commercial. So that $8 million might be 10, 11, 12 when it's all said and done of what goes into that 30-second commercial. So, yeah, for that kind of money, you want it anywhere and everywhere.
Everywhere I can get it, you go look at it. That's it. But I hope that tradition never changes, and I don't see that happening. But Super Bowl is known, and it draws everybody in, obviously sports fans, but others as well, just to see that part of it.
Again, live starting tomorrow, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Road coverage in New Orleans, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, Circa Las Vegas, Smoky Mo's Barbecue, Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. And again, start looking at our guest list already for tomorrow and the next couple of days. It's going to be an insane week down in New Orleans. Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
I hope we're talking about another Spurs trade at some point during the week.
Well, I'm just glad De'Aaron Fox got done yesterday, because if they waited till the deadline, I mean, I can look ahead and tell you right now what we have booked for Thursday. Emmitt Smith live at 2:15, Darren Woodson at 3:30, Daryl Johnston, Thurman Thomas. That's on Thursday. On the trade deadline, and my fear was if they wait till Thursday. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, they can still get another big. There's a lot of things they could do. But, hell, maybe the Cowboys make a trade. You know, since Myles Garrett has put out that, I don't know, he wants out of Cleveland. And you look at like those immediate betting sites, Cowboys have the best odds.
Uh-huh.
That's Vegas trying to steal your money.
Yeah, you're gonna buy that? Bet on that?
As much as I love a Myles Garrett, I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks, including this year's, for Myles Garrett.
I would. Are you kidding? Can you imagine Myles Garrett alongside Micah Parsons?
It's scary.
That would be scary as hell.
It is scary. But
you're going to lose DeMarcus Lawrence, most likely.
Yeah. But your first rounder this year.
I'd give it up.
I'd give up next year's first rounder.
Why not
and the
this
year
year
after that? Because where are they picking? 12, 14, whatever it is? You
get a Myles Garrett?
I mean, no, probably not. But actually, you know what? You talked me out of it. Do it, Jerry, because I don't want Ashton Genty in the first round.
Exactly.
I know we need a running back, but what is the best way to make sure Jerry doesn't go take away the first round pick? Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett in a Cowboy uniform would be outstanding. That would be the fiercest pass rush combination in the NFL. Parsons on one side, Garrett on the other.
Pick your poison.
My goodness, that would be offensive coordinators game planning their little heinies off all week against that.
Absolutely. I mean, pick your poison. All right, cool. That was easy. Go make it happen, Jerry. Call Nico and figure out how not to do the worst trade in the world.
Jeez.
I mean, Jerry has never looked better as a GM in Dallas than yesterday or Saturday.
I loved all the social media posts and Jerry sending the Dallas Mavericks roses, and that was fantastic.
I'm just trying to figure out if Nico's going to try to make a trade for Myles Garrett. What else could you do?
Hey, why not?
I mean, you look at Myles Garrett, even at his age. And I know Cleveland has said they aren't willing to trade him. That was a couple of weeks ago. And you read the statement that Myles Garrett put out today. He didn't go to Cleveland to get to Canton. He joined the NFL, or his goal is to win a Super Bowl, and that's what he wants to do. So you could also say, because I can already see the jokes on our YouTube channel, if he wants to win a Super Bowl, he ain't coming to Dallas. I get it.
That's it.
I get it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There is that. And if you're Myles Garrett, I mean, you got to take that into consideration.
Again, if the Cowboys are giving, and again, starting at 2 firsts this year's, which is a good pick, part of the reason I don't want to get it up, but are you going to, at that pick, get a better player than Myles Garrett?
No.
Now, the financial aspect of things is you're going to have somebody on a rookie contract. But
all in, Jerry.
Again, if Myles Garrett takes that first-round pick, the fear that he'll go with Ashton Genty is off the table.
And your definition of what is all in and mine might not be the same thing.
Boy, that would be. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Eberflus would have a wet dream if Jerry did something like that?
Well, he's having that just thinking about it.
I'm just saying, man, that would be like. Just. Oh, my goodness, as a defensive coordinator.
Football team.
Yeah, I mean, to have both of those guys, that would be incredible. It ain't happening.
I want me some glory hole.
It ain't happening. I give no faith in trust in the Cowboys pulling off a deal like that.
I mean, nobody thought Luka would get traded for anything.
Well, there's that.
I mean, I don't know what to believe anymore in this world.
Oh, my gosh, that was just awful. Just awful. It still makes. I've been thinking of everything, and none of that trade makes any sense to me at all.
It doesn't make sense, and until we learn more, I don't think it will make sense. Now, one thing that didn't make sense when I first saw it makes sense now, and that's Chip Kelly choosing the Raiders over the Texans if he had an option.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, well, the Texans apparently didn't offer, which doesn't make sense. Oh, the Raiders are giving him $6 million a year. That makes it easy. He's the highest paid guy. You know, they've got an influx of cash. His name is Tom Brady.
And Tom's pretty much running the show from what everybody says, and that's sparking a lot of controversy in itself with him being in the booth at Fox. They need a quarterback. And I've heard some suggestions. You got a Sam Darnold out there. Do you make a push to him? How about a Kirk Cousins to bridge the gap? With the Raiders, it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
The idea that Chip Kelly is making more than, say, DeMeco Ryans to be the offensive coordinator. So the Texans did hire a guy, the Rams tight end coach. So here's a guy, he knows Sean McVay's number. He's like saved in the cell phone so you can have a job. Nick Cayley, what the hell's his name? Cayley.
Yeah, Yeah, he's the new offensive coordinator for the Texans. That was just announced, by the way. And so, well, good for the Texans. They got their guy, and he comes from a pretty good tree.
Yeah, he knows McVay.
Yeah, and Shanahan too. So
well, and look, he's a tight ends coach. Maybe he'll get something out of Dalton Schultz. All right, maybe not. Maybe not.
That's hilarious. By the way, the trade for Fox is now officially official.
Officially official. The fleecing has been finalized. We'll talk about it coming up in about 20 minutes. Bobby Marks from ESPN will join us here on the Blitz. We'll also talk some college football today. Joey Maguire, head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, he'll be on at 3:35. The Spurs, without a De'Aaron Fox, will be in action tonight. Need a place to go watch the game? What about Sunday for the big game? Get into the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. The Rue Pub is the best place to go watch any big game, any big fight. They've got them there at the Rue. When you go to the Rue Pub, go hungry. The food is fantastic. They've got the biggest and best wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu, including the original Wemby burger. They've got that great bison burger, great hot dogs, chicken sandwich, appetizers, and salads. And that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Rue Pub, 281 in Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Rue Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Hey, it's James Pledger. If you played Pick 6 from DraftKings, well, you better get on it. It's Super Bowl 59, the last time to play NFL Pick 6 this season. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like nobody else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5 to get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for my good friends over at Prize Picks. It is now or never. The big game is almost here. Don't miss out on the last big one of the season. And Prize Picks is the absolute best place to win cash while watching the big game. And I'm talking about serious cash, 1,000 times your money. And it is so easy to do. And on top of that, we've got money for you. Just check out the promos tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie winners. Big game lineups, you can get them. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win up to $1 million. That's part of the promo finds. That's why you go to Prize Picks. I'll tell you what, you want some cash? Use the code Alamo. You get $50 instantly after you play your first game. That's a $5 lineup with 2 times the money. Let's go play Prize Picks. You've been putting it off all year long, or you've been playing along with the other 10 million. Prize Picks is the place to be. Go run your game.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
When it comes to sending last-minute Valentine's Day gifts, nobody delivers like Target Circle 360. Get the perfect surprise delivered right to their door with Target Circle 360's unlimited same-day delivery on orders over $35. Start with a dozen red roses, then choose from our delicious assortment of favorite day candy and more. Crush your Valentine's Day celebration by sending something to everyone on your list. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Texans are hiring a new offensive coordinator. His name is Nick Caley, and he comes from the Rams. In fact, he spent the past 2 seasons with the L.A. Rams. That is another branch of the Shanahan-McVay tree. All-Pro and reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, released a statement today confirming his request to be traded by the Cleveland Browns, and De'Aaron Fox is officially a San Antonio Spur.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this great Monday afternoon. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Comment there, and sometimes the comments are worth just the read, although I'm curious about one. Brad. Hey, Joe. Good to see you at the Spurs Club Saturday. Me and my girlfriend are listening while working. Glad you and Maggie enjoyed the Cucumber Club soda.
Might have been a little vodka in there as well.
You might?
Yeah, there might have been. It's possible. I don't know for sure, but there could have been. You know what's cool about that? We went to some friends of ours just had a grand opening of a new wine bar that they're doing. Well, some other friends that are in there are members of the Spurs Club, the new one down there.
And they let you in?
Well, they did. Apparently, they can bring guests, and so we went in there. We were pretty much the only ones in there. It was a very chill afternoon, but we went in there, and I was curious to see it. It's a beautiful place. It's really nice, and they do have the windows there where you can see down on the floors. But what was funny about that is they don't have curtains on those windows, but they are designed where they can fog up.
Really?
Right? So you can't see out there.
So during practice or whatever?
So if Pop doesn't want you to see practice, he can fog those windows up, and you can't see. But it's a really nice place, and it was great. And, Brad, it was good to see you, my friend, and it was a lot of fun. It's the first time I had been in there, and I was anxious and curious to see what it was all about, and it's a really nice place.
Man, that's awesome. I haven't been over there yet. Eventually, I'll get invited.
Eventually, yeah.
I'll know somebody that knows somebody.
I doubt it. You're friends, but I'm just saying,
I mean,
I'm
just saying. kind of one of those things.
It was a fun afternoon. It was good.
Bobby Marks will join us in about 10 minutes from ESPN to talk about the trades. Plus, Texas Tech head coach Joey Maguire. He'll join us at 3:35. Of course, Texas Tech is a school that, has all their NIL stuff in line and ready to go. We got a letter from UTSA today from Lisa Campos that didn't say a damn thing. We'll get into that coming up a little bit later as well. Right now, though, let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
As if anybody in the Super Bowl needs any extra motivation, Jake Paul is giving some extra motivation to one Saquon Barkley.
I think this is cool, and I don't know if Saquon is, I'm sure he'll take it, right? But he's offering him a car, and not just any car, like is it a Lamborghini or it's some fancy, expensive car. If Saquon has a good day, he's got to win MVP, I think, is the deal, if I'm not mistaken. But it's, why not? I mean, hell. If Jake Paul's going to give you a car, you take it.
Well, Jake Paul with the flex creates a video, and there's a couple of taxi cab yellow Ferraris in there, and he says, you win Super Bowl MVP, I'll give you one of my Ferraris, because I've got so many of them, I can't drive them anyway. So, hey, Saquon, you want a used ride? This is yours if you win MVP. You don't get the new one.
Well, Jake Paul is good at fleecing people out of their money by fake, boxing matches with Mike Tyson.
Here we go.
So that's kind of what he does. So he feels guilty. And so, yeah, good for him. But, hey, yeah, if I'm Saquon, I'm saying, yeah, why not? I'll do that. I got as good a chance as anybody.
Sure. While we do have Philadelphia and Kansas City in the Super Bowl, will we see a tush-push in the game? That's a prop bet, and I think last one I saw, it might have been 2.5 or 3.5, whatever it was. You wonder if that play is going to go away. A lot of people are anti that play.
A lot of owners.
And owners. And now the president of the Packers, not a fan, he wants it to go away. So while there's other things that we want the competition committee to address, like Sky Judge and officiating, they're worried about a tush-push because they can't stop it.
Well, if Philly runs it, obviously Kansas City can stop the Buffalo Bills tush-push because they don't do it right. But, look, if you're Philadelphia, I would be politicking for it. Nobody can stop Philly. I mean, with Jalen Hurts as big as he is, and they actually do it right. They put some big guys, some beefy fat dudes behind Hurts and push him. And that's the way it should be done. And I don't know what Buffalo was thinking. They had a little bitty running back there trying to push. It makes no sense. But I'm sure it's something they're going to look at. And again, I'm kind of with you on that. I really don't see there are other fish to fry than getting rid of the tush push.
It's been a while since I've priced used cars. A 2012 GMC Yukon with about 200,000 miles on it. What do you think it's worth?
I don't know, 20 grand maybe?
Maybe. All right, it's Scotty Scheffler's, and it's up for auction.
Uh-huh.
Two-time Masters champion.
Yes. Best golfer on the planet, by the way.
Jim Nantz bought the car at an auction.
Uh-huh.
Started the bidding at $50,000.
And that stood up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That stood up. So he actually got the car. Scotty Scheffler's whole car. It apparently still has the Masters parking sticker, player's parking sticker on the windshield.
Don't you figure Jim Nantz, the voice of the Masters, probably has a parking sticker?
Well, he might. He might have that, but maybe not a player's parking sticker.
Look.
There might be a CBS parking spot.
I'm just saying. I mean, he's been to the gift shop there.
Well, Nantz claims that he figures if he drives that to the golf course, it's going to shave 6 or 7 strokes off his game.
That's what he thinks, huh?
Just driving Scheffler's car to the golf course. Nantz is a pretty good golfer, by the way.
Yeah, 5 or 6 strokes, he could play in the Masters.
Maybe so, right? Maybe so. Hey, congrats to Rory McIlroy, by the way, winning the Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
Mm-hmm.
I know y'all are excited about that, but I was excited about it. He kicked some butt yesterday. Who be stealing my Lucky Charms?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Good for you, Rory.
Don't do that. That was bad. Let's talk about the De'Aaron Fox trade. Let's talk about the Luka trade. Bobby Marks from ESPN joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and on YouTube. Search the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. They have the right service for you at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimates. So call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or online, hill-electric.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for Super Bowl 59.
I like this kind of party.
The Philadelphia Eagles face the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday at 5:30. The Chiefs, led by MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes, aims for an unprecedented 3rd consecutive Super Bowl victory, a feat never achieved in NFL history. Meanwhile, the Eagles, with a formidable defense and a dynamic offense, are ready to challenge the reigning champions. Don't miss a moment of this historic matchup, presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Sunday at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for Super Bowl 59.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hey guys, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Does it feel like you're lacking energy, always moody, or you know your libido isn't what it used to be? It could be caused by low testosterone. Go get tested. I recommend the providers at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Their personalized TRT goes beyond standard treatments. They also have affordable GLP-1 weight loss options. And for current patients, Synergenics offers a $150 referral credit. Get started. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com. SYNERGENX health.com.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
On Super Sunday, you could be the Crunch Time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own Crunch Time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
At Round Table Pizza, our signature ingredients like made-from-scratch dough, our 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge create your perfect pizza. Try our new pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza, available for a limited time. You can enjoy a large for only $19.99 at participating locations. Plus, pair your pizza with our irresistible shareables. To find your nearest location or to order for pickup or delivery, head to roundtablepizza.com. That's roundtablepizza.com.
Are you facing divorce, a child custody battle, or a complex family dispute? AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks brings unique experience to the table. As a veteran and first responder, he knows the challenges, he knows the pressure, and he knows how to fight for what's yours. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat-free representation from beginning to end and payment plans so you can get representation now. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. Search for and subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. In the last 30 minutes or so, the Spurs sent out the press release making the De'Aaron Fox trade official. Let's talk about it. Bobby Marks from ESPN, former NBA GM, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Bobby, I know it's a busy day for you. Appreciate you jumping on. When I look at this trade that Brian Wright and the Spurs staff were able to pull off, how did they get De'Aaron Fox without giving up a Devin Vassell or a Jeremy Sohan? It feels like they got him a lot cheaper than I thought he would be.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think certainly for San Antonio, it's kind of like if there's a walkaway deal, especially where you could revisit this in the off season here. I said it last week and I said it earlier. The hardest thing for front offices is to kind of show restraint. And when you show restraint based on all the draft picks that you had accumulated, the 12th first, and certainly your young players with Vassell and Castle and Johnson and Sohan, and not be able to put any of those in the deal and still retain the two Atlanta picks and the swap rights, in the future here, it's pretty remarkable as far as what they were able to do. Obviously, Sacramento was looking for, they do get a couple picks, 2 first, and what equates to 5 seconds. Then they were looking for a player, like Zach LaVine, who kind of keeps them in contention, trying to fight for a play-in. So there's really good job by San Antonio. It sets them up, certainly, if there's another move, whether it be this offseason. Certainly, you potentially have 2 lottery picks, which could be really enticing to add to this roster.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, Bobby, you're not hearing about the Spurs. Have they gone quiet? Are they not going to try and do anything before Thursday? You think this is it for them?
Well, we'll see. I mean, the deal wasn't just to get, you're not making deals just to get into play-in. You're looking at deals long term. There is always a kind of a knee-jerk reaction because whenever there's a deadline, people react differently. I think you could certainly figure out. I think the smart thing, and I said this even if they hadn't gone out with De'Aaron, figure out kind of who you are as a team, who fits around Victor. And I think that's the thing to do is kind of, you go into, use the last, 35, 40 games, see how this relationship works, what other pieces that we have to add in the offseason, and then go out and figure that out. The worst thing you want to do is, trade in Atlanta first, one of those picks here, and it doesn't, the player you get doesn't work out here. So I'd be surprised if there's another, big move up their sleeve as far as when we get closer to Thursday.
Interesting. Bobby Marks from ESPN joining us here on the Blitz. I was thinking kind of honestly the opposite. Since you still have a Keldon and you still have so many picks, the need for another big with the departure of Zach Collins is certainly there. But as you study the Spurs roster, what do you look at that you think they need to target, whether it's by Thursday or at some point in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably hit it right on the head as far as getting some depth there. Certainly in your front court, I think you have to figure out some of your younger players that you've picked, whether it be Wesley or Branham, as far as how those guys kind of fit long term, as far as where you are there. I think I know I understand the point as far as that you'd like to try to go out and do something again. You just got to be careful. There's not a deadline where you have to basically spend all your money at once. You can certainly save some of your assets, because there's always going to be a team or teams, or always going to be a disgruntled player that's going to want to be traded this offseason here. And I think if you use them all by Thursday, you're just not going to have enough, liquidity to go out and get a player.
Bobby, I know fans think of things a lot differently. We're more knee jerk than the guys in the front office, that's for sure. And the guys in the front office have to make those difficult decisions. I look at a player like Keldon Johnson, and I was very high on Keldon when he got here, and I thought, man, this guy could really be it. It seems to me, I'm speaking as a fan, Bobby, keep that in mind, that he's hit a ceiling. How do you know when a player has done all he can do for your franchise?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you go through kind of a progression, right? Usually it's, the first 4 years you're on that rookie contract, and then when you get to year 5 and year 6 and they basically have leveled off, that basically could be who that player is. Certainly there are situations where a player goes into to a different environment and it maybe has a different role and they really take off, but you usually have a pretty good understanding as far as what type of player you have, as far as, sometimes you max out on from a developmental standpoint, so that's the end goal. I mean, I think as far as, where you are, certainly, with where Keldon is, I think kind of the role, where he is in, he's probably in a 6-man role. The good thing is he's on a really good contract that you could use to move if you wanted to.
Bobby Marks from ESPN here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The rumors about De'Aaron Fox coming to San Antonio have been circulating for several days now. When you finally saw what the trade was, all the pieces and parts and what was leaving San Antonio, were you surprised from your seat, or is it kind of what you thought it might be?
No, it's thought of what it might be. I think, listen, a week ago when the Fox news broke and I talked about it on TV, I tried to put myself in the perspective of Sacramento and say, hey, this is what I would want. This is what I would want. And I know you're not going to get it, whether it be Castle or Johnson and the Atlanta picks and certainly the Chicago pick was part of this deal that went to Chicago, back to Chicago. But when you kind of digest it more and you put yourself in a position of where San Antonio is, where they could say, hey, this is our best offer, we're going to walk away from it. And basically now you're left in Sacramento with somewhat of a distraction of a player that likely would ask out in the offseason. This is kind of what I thought the pick package was. I thought maybe you could have maybe squeezed another first, Adam, considering that Charlotte first is really not a first because it turns into 2 seconds. So yeah, I mean, the AD stuff caught me off guard. That's what catches you off guard.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
What the return was not. It didn't catch me off guard just because of the landscape of kind of where we are with everything.
All right, Bobby, you're the perfect guy to ask in as you brought it up because I've been asking everybody and nobody can make any sense of that trade.
Yeah.
What in the world's going on in Dallas?
Well, it's it's an extremely aggressive general manager. When you look at what they've done the last 3 years, they basically they turn over their roster consistently, and then certainly now it's the biggest chess piece on the board with Luka here. I think there's a lot of different layers to look at it. I mean, there's the layer of certainly there's a relationship with Nico being back his days with Nike and having a relationship with Anthony Davis already. There's a comfort level as far as getting that type of player and that type of person in your building. The identity where they are preaching defense certainly comes into play. There's the layer of you could have put them on the open market and you could have got a lot more. And I don't think Dallas was looking for 7 draft picks. They're looking for a win now type player. But I will say this. The rules of the Supermax, which Luka is no longer eligible for, that's not for you to get deterred and trade a player that's 25 or 26 years old and is in the prime of his career. And the window in Dallas has certainly shortened, from a trying to win a championship where you have, one player who's 32, the other one who's 31. You're in a win now position here. So yeah, it definitely catches you off guard. I would say this, and just going back to my days in New Jersey and Brooklyn, your own players the best. You know what's under the hood of the car as far as who they are, injuries, personality-wise, how they fit in better than the other 29 teams. And I think for Dallas, certainly there was certainly concerns as far as paying him 5 for $345 based on fitness, health, and all that. Is it the right move? Man, for the people in Dallas, it better be the right move. For that front office, it better be the right move because the fans there aren't going to give you a mulligan on this one. When you have a generational player like Luka is, I mean, a guy that could retire right now and walk into the Hall of Fame.
I mean, I look at all of that. If the guy wants to eat a hot dog and drink a beer during a timeout, I don't care. Just go do Luka things on the court. I mean, and then you look at the return, and Anthony Davis is certainly no slouch, but they got rid of Luka. From a GM standpoint, in your time working in front offices, it almost feels like, you know, GMs are talking and you don't take that serious, but they did. But from a Dallas standpoint, they only dealt with one team, Rob Pelinka.
Yep.
They didn't try to get the highest bidder. How often does that happen? And it almost feels like, man, malpractice might not be the right word, or maybe it is, but how do you not put that out there and try to get the most you can for a player like Luka?
I just think that Dallas knew. I think they knew who they wanted, right? They basically wanted one player, and that was Anthony Davis. And they basically circled him, and yeah, I understand that it's an extreme rare case. I would say it rarely happens. I think what will happen now, though, is there's always that hesitancy when you're in a front office, right? I remember just going back in my days with the Nets, and I would tease Billy King, and I would say, Billy, call the Cavs and see if LeBron's available, right? And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if teams now are just more comfortable saying, hey, call the Celtics and see if Jaylen Brown's available. You know, like where you would never have before, because unless you ask, you just never know, right? So I think that could be an interesting trend that we might see. But you're right. I mean, I think you could have also done nothing, right? You could have also just said, let's get Luka back. Let's see where we are as a roster. Let's see where we are the last 35, 40 games, and then let's figure it out in the offseason to go out and do something.
So, Bobby, when you look at the Lakers now with LeBron and Luka, how do you see those two meshing, if you will?
I still think there's a lot of work to do. I think the roster that Luka left in Dallas was a lot better than the roster that he's walking into with the Lakers. You know, from a meshing standpoint, I think I'm more concerned, how does he fit with Austin Reeves in the backcourt? You know, certainly from a defensive standpoint, and our team's going to be targeting both guys. They need a center. Do they go out and get a center now, or they figure it out in the offseason here? I think certainly from a usage standpoint, the big question will be, does Luka have the ball in his hands more? How does LeBron fit into that? It's an interesting, it's an interesting dynamic, because for the first time in a long time, really Luka's the face of the Lakers moving forward. It's not LeBron. So it is an interesting dynamic to watch over the next 35, 40 games, and then kind of see what happens this summer.
Certainly got the week started off on a wild way with the trade deadline coming Thursday. Bobby, I know you're extremely busy. Appreciate you jumping on with us this afternoon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Bobby Marks from ESPN on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. And, of course, with De'Aaron Fox coming to San Antonio as a part of that deal. Also a reunion, if you will, with Harrison Barnes.
Yep.
Harrison played with De'Aaron Fox for a number of years there in Sacramento, and Harrison talking a shoot-around today prior to the Memphis game tonight, talking about how De'Aaron Fox is as a player.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the basketball speaks for itself. I mean, elite point guard, elite player in this league. He's a dynamic scorer, can defend at a high level. All that stuff I think will take care of itself. But obviously Fox he's a great person, a family man, a Texas kid. So, it's always nice that he'll be able to, come back to Texas, play for the Spurs. And I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, he sounds like a San Antonio Spur.
Yep.
According to Harrison Barnes there. That sounds just like the type of player that they want.
Well, and you think about Harrison was there, when De'Aaron Fox shows up as a young kid, And even De'Aaron put that on his social media. I came here as a 20-year-old. I leave as a 27-year-old man.
It was great. I think anytime you have a guy like him where there's a lot of potential and you see a player begin to realize that potential and do it on a nightly basis and be consistent, it's a great thing to see. So I think, the best is yet to come for him. Obviously, he still, has room to grow as a player, but he's established himself into that group.
I just think that this player, and I'm talking about Fox, with what he can do, with what he'll be able to do with Wemby, with how he can score as well, and get a guy like Devin Vassell involved too. I just think it's a perfect fit for this Spurs ball club, and I again just thrilled that this got done.
He'll wear jersey number 2, expected to make his debut on Wednesday night, of course, with the rodeo road trip and those 2 games in Austin. His first home game at the Frost Bank Center is not until March 2nd. That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Let's talk some college football coming up, and little Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. Texas Tech head football coach Joey Maguire joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. Still has the winter stuff on display in his showroom, so a jacket, a half-zip, hoodie, beanie, Sam will get you taken care of. If you need that logo on a nice dress shirt, a golf shirt, whatever it might be, go see Sam. If you need caps, he has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps, the Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too big, no order too small. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, we'll talk Spurs. De'Aaron Fox isn't there yet, but the Grizzlies were on tap. We'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, we'll see what other moves shake out before the NBA trade deadline. And, there's a football game on Sunday. Get into some Super Bowl talk. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Having a party for the big game? Let Smoky Mo's handle the barbecue. Go with the Big Game Rib Party Pack. 3 pounds of delicious Smoky Mo's slow smoked ribs, plus sides. Or get the Tailgate Party Pack, a buffet in a box with brisket, turkey, sausage, and sides. Add in a Baker Bar Group Pack. The chopped baked potato bar is perfect for groups. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue that will make your big game party super. Order online at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at CircaLasVegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in the Big Easy.
It's showtime, let's do it!
And the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from New Orleans. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour.
This is exactly where we want to be!
From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all.
I like this kind of party!
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Flight by Yingling, Circa Las Vegas, Smoky Mo's Barbecue, Synergenics, Testosterone and Weight Loss, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from New Orleans, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Man, I cannot wait. We've got a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow morning. The Blitz live tomorrow from New Orleans for our Radio Row coverage. Cannot wait to get down to New Orleans. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, and you hear the promo, big voice guy talking about all the big-name guests. One guy that I know we won't talk to on Radio Row is Patrick Mahomes. We have before. I think the last time we had Patrick was, I don't know, Minnesota? Maybe Houston. Been a while because he's playing in them every year.
That's a problem, right?
Not, I'm rooting
for us, not for him.
Yeah, no, I'm guessing if you're a star quarterback, you don't want to be making the rounds on Radio Row because that means you're not playing in the big game. I know I'm rooting for Kansas City because I don't want to see Philadelphia win. I'm guessing Joey Maguire is rooting for Kansas City because of the Texas Tech connection. Let's talk about it with the Red Raiders head football coach, Joey Maguire, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Pretty cool to have an alum play in his 5th Super Bowl, huh?
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm going to be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs like crazy.
Well, yeah, you have to. And Joey, Patrick Mahomes hasn't forgotten where he came from, has he? He's at Texas Tech and doing stuff there all the time.
No, he hasn't, man. He has been behind so many things here at Texas Tech. Even the day that I got the job, I mean, he's just been absolutely incredible. And now we've partnered with him and Adidas, and we wore a Patrick Mahomes galvanized jersey with his Gladiator logo on it, and then we wore an all-white Adidas uniform with his logo on it. So we're all behind him, and he's behind us.
Well, and again, you got 2 quarterbacks that played their high school ball in the state of Texas playing in the Super Bowl, which is cool. And I know how much you value those high school football players here in Texas and the High School Coaches Association, but only one of them went to college here. So if you're looking for another reason to root for Kansas City. But I'm curious, Joey, for a guy that didn't coach Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, for him to embrace you and your staff has got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, it is. It just says how much he loves this university. I mean, I've heard him say it many a times that this place, as soon as he came here, it felt like home, and it changed his life, and he does. I mean, whenever we've needed something, he's been there. I mean, I'll shoot him a text, tell him good luck, go be you, and he's going to respond either after the game or the next day. I mean, he has really been behind the Red Raiders, and like you said, whenever you started all this, I mean, he remembers where he came from.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And Joe, you would know this as well as anybody. I mean, He's a huge star, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, but he doesn't act like it if there's a way to act like it. I mean, he's still just down-to-earth, a regular guy.
Yeah, he's probably, when you think about a guy at that level, he's probably as humble of a superstar as anybody that I can think of. And the way he treats people and the way he remembers exactly who he is and where he comes from. But he really is, man. He treats everybody great, and I think he's done that from the beginning and from the way he was raised to the way he did things here at Texas Tech and the way he's doing things at Kansas City. I mean, it's hard to find people that really know him or have been around him to say a bad word about him.
Joey Maguire joining us here on the Blitz, head football coach at Texas Tech. Having a player like Patrick Mahomes with the success that he has had come from your program. He didn't come from Alabama. He didn't come from UT. He didn't come from Notre Dame or Ohio State. Texas Tech. How much does that benefit you when you're out recruiting? I know with National Signing Day coming up, is it talked about a lot, or is it just just one of those things?
No, it benefits us greatly. I mean, it benefits us from the standpoint it's not just the best quarterback in the world and what he's done in his short time in the NFL, but also with his brand behind us. I mean, this year we wore 2 of the Mahomes logo uniforms. We'll wear another one next year, and then by 2026, somewhere around there, everything will have, with the Adidas, will have his logo on it. And so whenever you're talking about the best quarterback in the world, and then he was a Red Raider and how much he loves this place, we use it like crazy, and man, he loves being a part of it.
Joey, I've got to ask you, because college football coaches in particular, I mean, your life is pretty rough these days. I mean, it seems like you got to recruit every single day, 24 hours a day. How is it, though, because we saw, I don't know, what was a couple months ago, that Texas Tech came out and said that once the revenue share is put in place, that this is how they're going to do it. How much easier does that make your job when you know you have the support of the administration behind you like that?
Well, we just opened up a $250 million football facility at South End Zone. It's the best in the country. Everybody that's come out here between recruits and coaches and everything are blown away. And then sharing, whenever it comes to revenue share at the highest level, I mean, it's great to know I'm at a place that they pushed their chips all in. Everybody between the staff, the administration, and the alumni, they're all in. And it helps that one of our alumni is going to be playing in the Super Bowl, really too, because we got another kid, Baylor Cupp, that's on the Kansas City Chiefs team, and those guys are really proud Red Raiders, and they're all in.
Joey, and I'm trying to think of a way that I could word this where it doesn't sound disrespectful or put you in a weird spot, but to have an administration that's all in on all 3 fronts like you just described, do you hear from your coaching friends, how did you get that? Or are you lucky SOB because they don't have that yet?
Some people are kind of shocked, and, I just tell them, man, there's a great series out right now on Paramount Plus called Landman. And, just in case y'all wondering, oil money's real, and we've got the best quarterback in the world playing that's a Red Raider. And so, I mean, it is. The momentum is building, and I always hate using this. We were really close this year because I don't want to be close. I want to be playing in the Big 12 championship and beyond that. I mean, we beat both teams that played in that game, but we dropped some games that we shouldn't have. And so I think the people out here see that we're going in the right direction, but we also need to take another step as a program.
Joey, when you look at the Big 12 and the landscape in college football, the SEC, the Big 10, the ACC, obviously you play in the Big 12, but how do you see the Big 12 in comparison to those other conferences?
Well, I think one thing that you're seeing, you don't just see it in football, you see it in basketball, and I'm sure you're going to see it in baseball this year, and softball. I mean, we've got one of the best softball teams in the nation. Is with the NIL, with revenue sharing that's about to come about, and then with the transfer portal, you're creating more and more parity whenever it comes to college football. I think you saw that in bowl games. I definitely think you saw that in the playoffs. And, I think that's good for college football. It's good for the fan. I thought the 12-team playoff was great. I know they'll tweak it in some different ways and keep getting it better and better, but I think it's good for college football. And I think whenever you're looking at it, Arizona State was a great representative for us, in the playoffs, and I thought they did a great job. They were right there at the end with the University of Texas, and I just know this, man, if you're playing in the Big 12, you better get ready to play every single week because there's no off weeks, there's no gimmies, and I think that's how college football really is and is going to be from here on out.
Joey Maguire, head coach at Texas Tech, here on the Blitz, and you talk about the NIL money, the revenue share, how Texas Tech is going to divvy it up. You guys had, according to On3, the #1 football transfer portal ranking, which is incredible. That also puts a lot of pressure on you. Go win 10, 12 games next year, play in that Big 12 championship game, and get into the playoffs. And, that's the name of the game now in college football, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. That's the expectation. The expectations don't change, but we were able to sign a great class whenever it comes to, we signed 18 high school players, and then we turned around and signed 17 guys out of the portal, and 27 of that group is already here on campus and getting ready to go through spring football, and there's going to be a lot of competition, and we're excited. It was a lot of fun, and it seemed like, from our alumni base, they were so fired up because it seemed like every night, if it wasn't once, it was multiple times that we're sending out that we've got a new signee, and they were big-time players.
So, Joey, I look at this, and we talk to a lot of coaches all the time that say we still need some guardrails is a big word that they use when it comes to the transfer portal and NIL and all of that stuff. What's your feeling on it? Obviously, you're very successful with it and using it the right way. What is your feeling on more guardrails?
Well, at some point, the federal government's going to have to step in and really put some true guardrails around what we're doing. I am all in, man. I want these players to be able to make money and make as much money as they can. The one thing I do think, and, hopefully it works out to where in April we really kind of figure out, whenever it's finalized or right after that, where you'll be able to do multi-year contracts. Those contracts will have buyouts. Because I do think that's, everybody as I've grown in this profession in high school, and I remember everybody saying, well, players should be able to transfer because coaches can move and they can do all this. Well, if you're going to do that and you're going to have contracts, and it should be the same as when you're saying, hey, coaches can move. Well, if I move, there's a buyout. There's things that are in my contract that have to be fulfilled. And I think there are some things that are going to happen past April where we're going to be able to do that. And I think that's good. I think you're going to see possibly less people transfer, or the guys that do transfer, they're going to have to pay the buyout. And I think that's good because this is real money. It's great for the athlete. But I do think that there's going to have to be some guardrails put around it.
Well, one of the things, Coach, that Coach Jeff Traylor mentioned to us one time on our show a couple weeks ago, that don't blame the kids. It's the adults with the calendars because the athletic calendar doesn't match up. Do you think spring ball or something like that ultimately will go away and you get, that one transfer window so you don't have all the bowl games that are affected with opt-outs or having to play a player that is opted out because if you didn't play those guys, you wouldn't have enough to compete in a bowl game?
Well, first of all, I think the calendar year as far as football should be moved up a week. It makes no sense that you've got a 0 week being played. So that, I think, should be week 1. So then that moves everything up. So now your conference games are moved up. And then they're already on the table and it's to be voted on to where the transfer portal, it's a one-time window, and it'd be like January 2nd through January 12th. And so if you move the calendar up a week, you move the conference championships up a week, now you're probably only talking about the national championship game that's affected by that. And so I think that is probably an easier fix than moving a portal window to April when you don't have a group of guys going through spring football. I'd rather have my guys done in January. Here's my team. We're going through spring football together. So I think that's a better fix when you're talking about doing it that way.
Now, see, I love that, Joey. And there are a lot of smart people like you out there that have ideas.
I don't know about that.
Well, I just wish that somebody would take all of these ideas and implement it, because that, I mean, common sense, what you just said, just seems to make the most sense that I've heard.
Well, one thing that's, to me, and of course this is going to be the high school coach in me, but whenever things are being made in the state of Texas, when it comes to UIL and it comes to different things that you're going to talk about, there's more coaches in that room than administrators. The problem that I think when it comes to college athletics, there's more administrators in that room on those committees than coaches. And so you don't have people that are living it every single day that so I think there should be more coaches on some of these committees than what we actually have, and I'm lucky enough to have been on a couple of committees, and I'm one of those people. I told Craig Bowles, who's our head of our AFCA, who's a rock star, and I think he's doing a great job, and he's going to continue to help us. But I don't want to be that guy that gripes, because we got a lot of people griping about it, but then they don't have any solutions, or they don't want to put the work behind it. They just want to gripe about it, and I don't believe that. If I'm gonna gripe about something, then I want to be a part of trying to solve the problem too. And so, I've got a lot of things that I think, I don't know if they're smart or anything, but I think there's some things that definitely can help our game, and I'm just trying to voice them, and then trying to find a way to if I'm going to voice and be critical, then I want to try to help have a solution.
Well, that's it. If you're offering up a solution, whether it's there or not, at least it's an idea, and it's just not a complaint, because you're dealing a lot, obviously, with the transfer portal, and you're working the portal extremely well. And I can only imagine your high school recruiting, what that's like, because I do the national radio for the Navy All-American Bowl, and this year is the first time I've seen it this way. Normally you see a lot of players and parents. This year it was a lot of players and agents, and it's just a completely different game.
Well, and that's another thing. I know they're going to be talking about it soon, and again, it's going to have to be probably some federal involvement and everything. But we're at a place. The two things that are crazy right now to me, well, more, but two things off the top of my head is because you brought up agents. So in the NFL, you have to be certified to be an agent, and there is a limitation on the percentages that you can put in your contract. And so I think that's very important that we have that at the college level. I think that the agents need to be certified, and there's got to be parameters around the percentages that you can charge your client. I think that's one thing that we have to do. I think that's a big part of it, because, man, some of the things that are going on, people want to talk about taking advantage of these athletes and different ways. There's a lot of people taking advantage of some of these contracts being written, the amount, the percentage that they're taking from the players whenever it comes to NIL and everything like that. So I think that's one thing that we've got to really look at whenever it comes to, just like you said, the agents.
Well, I hope some of these changes get made, Joey. I've got to ask you, are you going to be able to take a couple hours off and watch the Super Bowl on Sunday?
No, I'll be cheering like crazy, man. I'm excited. I mean, it's really cool. It's not just two Texas guys. It's two Big 12 quarterbacks, and that's happened, I think, 3 out of the last 4 years. I could be wrong. I know they've matched up. Now this will be twice with Philly and KC. San Francisco and KC played each other, and Brock from Iowa State was the quarterback, and so that's one thing, that there's such great quarterbacks that come through this league, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It is going to be a lot of fun. I know who you're going to be rooting for. Joey Maguire, head football coach at Texas Tech. And, man, if Mahomes gets another one, I mean, how do you guys eventually honor this guy? Is it too soon for statues and naming fields? Or, I mean, what do you think ultimately happens with Patrick and Texas Tech?
Well, his name is in the ring. There's, that's one thing. There's no statues on this campus of former players. So, who knows
That'll
whenever it
change.
comes to that. But this is one of my favorite stories. I'll do it quick. We have a recruiting lounge, and in the recruiting lounge, it has our players, and then there's a Lombardi trophy under their name. And, of course, under Patrick's, there's 3 of them. Jonathan Boutros is one of our assistant ADs, and, and he's phenomenal. And he's standing there with Patrick, and Patrick turns to him, and he sees his area where his trophies are, and he goes, "You're going to need a lot bigger area than what you got right here." And so we're hoping that we get to add a new trophy right under his name there in the recruiting lounge.
That's
Outstanding.
awesome.
That is cool.
That is awesome. Joey Maguire, keep recruiting San Antonio and South Texas. I know you got a couple of 2-0 guys on your roster now, man. Keep doing that.
You got it, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Joey Maguire, head football coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, here on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
Not sure Jeff Traylor echoes your sentiments there for Joey Maguire.
That's probably true, although the landman reference was great because oil money is real.
Oil money's real. I wanted to ask him what he thought about Jerry's performance. That was fantastic. Yeah, I've had more people tell me how good Jerry Jones was.
He was.
In that scene.
He was great.
He was fantastic.
He was great.
Wow.
And look, Joey Maguire and Texas Tech, they've got obviously the money. They're going to do the rev share. They've already announced how they're going to split it up. We got a letter today from Lisa Campos, and season ticket holders got this letter, and it doesn't say a damn thing. It's a long letter, but it doesn't say a thing. We'll talk about what it doesn't say coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, Stevens Roofing says a lot because they are the best in the business when it comes to roofing. Been in business in San Antonio and South Texas for a long time. And look, I don't have to tell you, you don't stay in business that long if you're not doing it right. Stevens Roofing is doing it right. And, they've got a lot of challenges in front of them. Because here in Texas, obviously in the summertime, it's hot. Springtime, we have those thunderstorms. Those are fierce. And we've had some freezing temperatures and probably will get some more before it's all said and done. Always unpredictable. Look, Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway. Neither should your roofer. You need a local roofer you can trust. That is Stevens Roofing. Look, quite frankly, Texas roofs are not designed for winter weather. When ice and snow melt, that water seeps into the little cracks. Then it refreezes. That creates bigger cracks, and that could all result in loose shingles and leaks that can damage your home. Your roof is the shield that protects your home and your family, so don't wait until you see the damage. Call the trusted pros at Stevens Roofing, a family-owned business with a solid reputation for reliability and quality service. Look, now is not the time for a DIY fix. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free roof inspection at 210-785-0994. You can also check them out online at stevensroofing.net. Look, don't let Texas weather catch you off guard. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Do it right now. Your roof keeps your family safe. Stevens Roofing is here to make sure that you are always covered. Stevens Roofing, protecting Texas families one roof at a time. Again, that phone number, 210-785-0994.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people falling in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
For limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
You know, you're right. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me, but you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
License number 38961.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
When life changes fast, you need a lawyer who's been there. AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks offers unique experience as a veteran and first responder to give you a strategic, results-driven approach. Facing divorce, child custody battle, or a complex family dispute, the Hicks Law Firm offers flat-fee representation from beginning to end, so you know exactly what to expect with no surprises. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win. The Hicks Law Firm.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the deal is officially official. De'Aaron Fox is now a San Antonio Spurs. Of course, they acquired him and Jordan McLaughlin last night from the Sacramento Kings in a 3-team trade with the Chicago Bulls. Spurs are now gone until March. They start up their 12-game rodeo road trip in Memphis tonight against the Grizzlies. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock. Wemby is listed as questionable. He's sick. He missed Saturday's game with that same illness against Miami as well.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And the 3rd time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports
beating San Antonio because we got De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, so screw the Mavericks.
Yeah.
How about that? Anyway. Yeah, the heck with them. Look, and I know we've got some Mavs fans that listen to us and watch us on YouTube, and I feel bad for them, but you should pick a better team.
You know, honestly, I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to be an ass about it.
I do have to.
I mean, look, I even saw a friend of mine that is a Laker fan post on Facebook, I can't believe we just did this. I feel bad for Maverick fan. Thrilled that we're getting Luka, but my goodness. I mean, how you do that. And I don't know if it's true or not because you can't believe everything you see on Twitter, but apparently the first call was to San Antonio for Wemby, and Brian Wright still gets a laugh out of that. And I don't know if I believe that because this was a deal done between two friends. And I will give them credit for one thing. They kept something that massive a secret.
Yeah, they did.
For at least 3 weeks.
They did.
That's incredible.
Uh-huh.
That is incredible.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good. That's what they do, right? It was just a crazy weekend, but the good news is cherry on top last night with the announcement that De'Aaron Fox was coming to San Antonio and the fact that the Spurs gave up not much at all to get this guy. I think every Spurs fan was ready to see Zach Collins go away. He did. And you held on to the unprotected picks from Atlanta. And so all of them, which means to me that Spurs still have a lot of ammo to fire away. So let's go get somebody else.
I know. I think we need another big and a shooter.
Yep.
Whether we get that by Thursday, I don't know. But they still have plenty of money to go spend in a trade. We talked with Bobby Marks from ESPN earlier in the show. You can, if you missed it, go listen to it. SASportsStar.com, the audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. If it's not there yet, it will be shortly. But the idea that I thought De'Aaron Fox would cost a lot more. I was so ready to part with a Devin Vassell, maybe even a Steph Castle, even though I didn't want to. And if he was off the table, all right, he's off the table. But the idea of Trey Jones and Zach Collins and who's the third guy?
C.D. Sissoko.
Oh, I know, but that's the sarcasm. I mean, it's three semi-role players, not even starters, and you kept your most coveted picks. I mean, this is DeAndre Hopkins getting traded for a bag of chips. The only difference is De'Aaron Fox was forcing his way out, and the Spurs knew that, and clearly had a lot more leverage than I thought it was going to cost a lot more. I'm glad it didn't, but I was stunned when I saw what the return was.
Well, and thanks to Chicago coming in, I think made it all. Because, look, Sacramento didn't make out poorly. I mean, they really didn't.
They did well, just not from San Antonio.
Exactly right. So that's the good news. It was a well put together trade by Brian Wright and company, RC, Pop, whoever was involved in this thing, maybe all of the above. But it was certainly well done, and I think most Spurs fans, and you really can't blame us for feeling this way, were surprised that Brian Wright could get this done. I don't think there was a lot of faith in him to get it done, but he did, and he deserves a lot of credit today.
Brian Wright's should be getting a victory lap, and for a guy that does take a lot of criticism, he pulled off a great trade. And San Antonio, you look at Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, they could be running mates for years to come. And your core is still there. You've got Castle. You still have Devin, at least as of today. So you look at the future of this team. The immediate return should be playoffs for San Antonio because they didn't have to gut what is already a pretty good team on some nights, right? And again, those 5-6 games that I felt like the Spurs should have won that they didn't, maybe with the De'Aaron Fox, those now turn into wins. The idea of, the knock on De'Aaron Fox, he's not a three-point shooter. Well, good. Yeah, don't take threes, De'Aaron. Do what you do, but, he's going to come in and probably be the second leading scorer behind Wemby. But you've got that solid 1-2 punch. Then you add in Castle and you add in Devin. I don't know what nickname people are going to come up with, but it's not yet a big three, but at least you have a solid two moving forward.
Yeah, you've got a solid 2, that's for sure. And that's the beauty of this deal. And what I love about it is the fact that you've got a 27-year-old vet who has already proven himself in this league, who can partner with Wemby, and they can grow together. Now, who's next, right? Obviously, the Spurs need a big man. Charles Bassey is the only guy they really have right now as a true big man. I mean, Jeremy Sohan's been playing center, for goodness sake. So that's still a need. Whether that's filled before Thursday or not remains to be seen, but it is still something they need. Devin Vassell needs to become that shooter. He needs to become that guy. And you know, he has his nights, but then he has those other nights where he's not. And if not, then you've got to go out and find another one, and maybe you find another one anyway. But with Fox coming in here, he can facilitate for a Devin Vassell. He can open things up for him. Devin's just got to knock those shots down. He can certainly facilitate with Wemby. Pick and roll game should be fantastic. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see him play. Looks like our first opportunity to see him is going to be Wednesday night.
Absolutely. And our first opportunity to see him in San Antonio. His home debut in March. Rodeo road trip, and then those 2 home games in Austin.
So they get to see him play first.
Yes.
I'm a little bitter about that. Let's
Yes.
buy a ticket and go to Austin, I guess.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of weird. Hey, you're traded to San Antonio. You won't see that place for a month. Welcome to town.
Welcome to town.
I know. By the time you get here, your wife will have the whole place set up, and you won't know where anything is.
Well, that's perfect, though. I would love that.
Exactly.
That's outstanding.
That's
I'd rather
the
I'd
silver
rather not,
lining.
Yeah, I'd rather not know where anything is, but everything's already set up. I love that. That's perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is good stuff. I'm selfish, more thrilled that this deal is done now and not closer to the deadline or on Thursday the deadline, because tomorrow we will be live in New Orleans, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage starting tomorrow 2 o'clock here on the Blitz, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, Circa Las Vegas, Smoky Mo's Barbecue, Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. I'm just glad that it doesn't happen Thursday. And, hey, Emmett, it's 2:15. What do you think of this trade? Because Emmett Smith, Thursday at 2:15.
Can't wait for that. For a number of reasons. First and foremost, it's Emmett.
Yes.
Secondly, he always brings a bottle of Herradura with him. So both of those things are good things.
Although after seeing that last night, I'd have done a tequila shot with Emmett.
Or 2.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Well, if I'm not working.
Oh, so you're saying if you're going to be working on Thursday, so you're not going to have a shot with Emmett?
No, I'm not going to. A shot.
A shot.
Not 3.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You may need it by Thursday. A little hair of the dog.
Oh, yeah, starting tomorrow night.
Now, looking forward to New Orleans is, but I'm looking forward to Radio Row coverage for sure. Always fun.
Dude, you're going to have so much fun
Sure.
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We're going to a party tomorrow night at a place called Mardi Gras World.
All right. Is it like a Six Flags?
No.
No? Well, what is it then?
It's down on the water. It's this big warehouse kind of thing, but it's where they store all the stuff for like all the Mardi Gras parades and events. It's really, really cool.
All right.
And the food there was fantastic. Last Super Bowl party at that place, same thing. So hoping for more of the same.
All right.
It'll be good.
Looking forward to it.
All I know, at the end of the day, you're going to stumble home and you'll be happy.
Well, they have Ubers, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
You know, UTSA sent out a letter today from Lisa Campos. And for the life of me, I can't figure out what this letter is actually trying to tell us when it comes to the new world of college athletics. We just talked with Joey Maguire at Texas Tech. Texas Tech has all their ducks in a row. As Joey Maguire said, everybody is on the same page and they're all in to make this football program, this athletic program successful. You read this crap from Lisa Campos today, and we'll explain coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, we got to get up early tomorrow morning because we have an early morning flight to New Orleans, which is okay, though, because the first thing I'm going to get to do after I grab a cup of coffee is get into my shower with my nice Connecticut quality water softened water. It is fantastic. Just kind of wakes you right up because it feels so good. I'm going to get out of that shower feeling clean. I mean, solidly clean. There's not going to be any film left on me and none of that kind of stuff. It is fantastic. It's one of the things that I love about my Connecticut quality water softener. I love how my clothes come out of the washing machine. They're cleaner than they ever have been. Food, when you use the water from the Connecticut to cook food, my goodness, it just tastes a little bit better. Look, everything is better with a Connecticut quality water softener. I love it. I don't know what I've done without it. I'll be totally honest with you. Don't know what I've done without it for this long. And you too can experience what I get to experience every day. Look, Connecticut's the best in the business. There is no question about that. What I like about it is you don't plug it in. It doesn't run on electricity, but it still provides soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is fantastic, and now is a perfect time to buy a Connecticut quality water softener because for a limited time, you're going to get a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they will install right there at your kitchen sink. Also, $400 off a trade-in of your old water softener. That's good. And how about 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit? They're going to give you free money to buy this thing with. That is fantastic, but you don't want to wait. Offer ends soon. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. The number to call, 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
Being arrested is embarrassing, humiliating, and potentially life-changing. If you want to rewrite the script on the worst night of your life, then you're going to need a stable of aggressive and skilled attorneys. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, Attorneys at Law. We are here to get your life and reputation back. Visit TexasArrest.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. As a former major crimes prosecutor, I've seen almost every type of arrest scenario play out, from small degree drug accusations to death penalty capital murders. I've handled almost every type of case the state of Texas can charge you with. At Barton & Associates, we know how to flip the script and get your life back on track. Call us at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit us at TexasArrest.com. That's TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates, we are here to get your life and reputation back.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back. My emotions are stable and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Hi, Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with a busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling your old one. It's simple. Orchard gives you an equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right, you don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. And no more rushing out for showings or constant cleaning, because Orchard sells your old home after you've settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money, so you sell for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles with Orchard. Start your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Rise it on! It's the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway.
You asked for it, you got it!
Predict the exact score of the big game in New Orleans, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportsstar.com.
I like this kind of party!
The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Detractor. Score big with Detractor and Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can call in, comment there. Call 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. A lot of you got the same letter we did today from UTSA Athletics. Can somebody explain to me what Lisa Campos is trying to say in this letter?
I can't, honestly. I'm not sure. It's more of a, well, no, I can't even go there. I was going to say like a rah-rah thing to kind of get people excited that they've got things under control, but then it doesn't tell me how they have things under control.
I look at this. Our bold approach to the future is how it's titled. And it goes into all kinds of detail. Looks like they're patting themselves on the back for this, that, and the other. What changes are we anticipating? Gives you some education. But on their bold approach to the future, it doesn't tell me a damn thing. It doesn't tell me anything that I expected it to say when I saw the email and go, all right, finally, here's the plan moving forward. And that's not at all what it is. And I don't understand why.
Well, that would have been nice. The one thing here, it says, over the past year, our administrative leadership team has been revising and refining the pillars of the Roadrunner game plan to prepare for our new reality. But there's no game plan.
Well,
that was listed here.
Again, I'm trying to figure out, how is UTSA football going to compete at the highest level in the American Athletic Conference? I'll go back to, and you guys can too, go back and listen to our interview that we did in Washington, D.C. on Army-Navy Radio Row with the commissioner and the things that he said. And you look at other schools in the conference and what they're doing. Now, obviously, UTSA doesn't have, FedEx money. But you can also look and see, well, what are they doing? I thought, all right, well, they hired 2 people to go help raise some of this money. They've hired this. Here's how we're going to split the revenue. This is what the number is. By my guess, just from reading what other schools in the American are doing, football is going to need $3.5–4 million. Okay? I don't see that kind of commitment. I don't see where we're going to try to raise money this way. We're going to still use our NILs. The fact that UTSA is still using NILs or not collectives, where other schools have taken them in-house. We're still using collectives here with UTSA, and there's 3 for UTSA, but only 2 that really do anything with football. The third one is all the other sports. We're going to take X number of dollars from the general fund. We're going to it doesn't tell me anything.
No, there's no plan here. And visiting with Joey Maguire, and we saw this, 2 months ago?
Easy.
From Texas Tech, immediately put out a plan showing a breakdown of everything they were giving to each and every sport. And I don't expect UTSA to have $25 million to do this, but, I mean, I think it is important because we've been told forever, I mean, as long as I've been covering UTSA, that this program wants to be a competitive program and compete with the big boys. And I tell you what, the conference that UTSA is in right now is just a step below the big ones.
Yep.
And it is a competitive conference with some good schools there and some big time schools. And you've got to be competitive. And I don't see anything. I would love to see a breakdown. What is the goal? What is the plan? How much do you want for the football team? Is it $4 million? How much do you want for the basketball team? What is the goal for the rest of everybody else? Why is that not put out there? Why is Texas Tech so far ahead of the curve and other schools, and UTSA is just still saying, well, we're ready for it? No disrespect,
well, actually,
but I mean, if you're ready for it, show us.
They don't even say that. They keep saying they're revising the plan. I mean, at some point you have to have a plan and you go and you execute it. At some point you add to your staff or you do other things to try and go find that. We've talked about, UTSA, are they going to make a play for the Big 12? The way they're acting right now, I don't know that Lisa Campos is ready to move to the Big 12. Not acting like it. Now, if they don't want to put out a number and they were to say, hey, we don't want to put this number out so we have a competitive advantage so other schools don't know what they have, maybe that would be a reason, I suppose, not to. But that also looks, small. And they're not trying to be small. We talked to Joey Maguire, head football coach at Texas Tech earlier today, and he made the reference, hey, man, watch Landman. Oil money is real, but he also has a university president, an athletic director, and the alumni group all on the same page.
Well, we just opened up a $250 million football facility at South End Zone. It's the best in the country. Everybody that's come out here between recruits and coaches and everything are blown away. And then sharing, whenever it comes to revenue share at the highest level, I mean, it's great to know I'm at a place that they pushed their chips all in. Everybody between the staff, the administration, and the alumni, they're all in. And it helps that one of our alumni is going to be playing in the Super Bowl, really too, because we got another kid, Baylor Cupp, that's on the Kansas City Chiefs team, and those guys are really proud Red Raiders, and they're all in.
Well, and look, Texas Tech is Texas Tech, and they got a lot more money than UTSA. First of all, this dream of being in the Big 12, if that is a dream, I mean, it's not happening. It's obvious, and we've been told, I mean, to our face, basically, they don't have the money to compete in the AAC, much less in the Big 12. So, look, now this letter goes on to detail. It says, we've been diligently planning for revenue sharing with student athletes, and I look forward to detailing this plan in the near term because we're closely coordinating with the American Athletic Conference and our colleagues across the conference, establishing revenue sharing thresholds. I'm not sure, and I don't know, call me crazy. I don't know the ins and outs of what they're doing, but why not be on your own? What do you care what Memphis is doing or any of the other schools? I don't care. What is UTSA going to do? What is the plan for UTSA? Give a damn what anybody else is doing.
This isn't a surprise, but when I've seen other universities announce the hiring of people to help go raise this money, I haven't seen that from UTSA. I don't know what it is. I know I don't know. At the same time, if we're waiting until the court finalized and then we're going to start,
well,
at that point, wouldn't UTSA be well behind the curve?
Well, according to the letter, they've started. They've
started planning.
They don't want to detail it until in the future date.
Yeah, it's February.
I'm just saying.
It's February.
Most people think, and that's the other thing, Jason. Most people think this is going to, it's going to happen by all intents and purposes. And so, you ought to be able to hit the ground running immediately. Now, I look forward to detailing the plan. My problem is I don't think you would be at a competitive disadvantage if you said, this is our plan. Maybe we haven't gotten there yet, but this is our goal. This is what we want to hit. We need your help, community, or we need this or we need that. Whatever the case may be, put it out there. Let people know what you need, what the football team needs, basketball, and so on and so forth, and say, this is our goal. We're slowly trying to get there, but you know what? This is our commitment. I want to hear that. I want to hear this number right here is our commitment for Jeff Traylor and his football program, because we want the Roadrunners to be the best football program in the AAC.
I can tell you one thing that UTSA needs to do, not only with this, but they need to hire some people in their season tickets and ticket sales department. I don't know if you saw this yesterday on Twitter. I'll retweet it right now. I hearted it so I could easily go back and find it.
This is sweet. You hearted it.
I did. Well, what do you call it now on Twitter?
No
I
idea.
liked it, but it's a heart, right? But I was able to go back and see it in my likes. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. I just retweeted it. We calculated the attendance trends of all 13 FBS college football programs in Texas, and they got a fancy little graph right here. Year-to-year percentage attendance, 23 to 24. SMU is up 44%. Huge. Sam Houston State, go Bearcats, 32% up. North Texas, up 29%.
Wow.
Houston, down 23%. UTSA, down 27%. The biggest attendance decline in the state of Texas.
So, you know what that tells me? That tells me that, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, living in this community for as long as we have, seeing what happens, this town is a front-running town. It is. It's absolutely a front-running town. You want people in the stands, you have to win. And in order to win in this day and age, guess what? You have to pay for that.
Oh.
So they go hand in hand. If you pay for it and you put a winning product on the field, well, then guess what? People are going to fill the seats because this is a front-running town. It always has been, and I would assume it always will be. You got to win. And to win in this day and age, you got to pay for it.
You got to pay. And by the way, UTSA was undefeated at home. What does Jeff Traylor say when he comes on? Were they 29-3 since he's been here, something like that? They win at home. Last year, they didn't win a lot on the road. But a 27% decline? Lisa Campos needs to do something with the sales staff, I would imagine.
Well, I think she could do a lot if they would just provide a commitment to this football program. Whatever Jeff Traylor says he needs, I would make sure that I provide that. That's exactly what I would do. If he says he needs X, I'm providing X. And I'm going to provide, and then it's on Jeff Traylor. If I give you the money you need, then, Coach, you go out and you produce a winning football team. But give the man what he needs to be able to compete.
And let's go back to Joey Maguire. He's gotten everything that he needs. While he didn't necessarily say this, you look at their roster and how well they manage the portal. They're expected to win 10, 11 games next year. They're going to compete for the Big 12. But you look at Joey Maguire, how many years has he been there? He's going to be coaching for his job next year. You've got all the resources. Now you got to go win. And that's the name of the game. But in today's world, I do think it's not just the coach who's going to have their neck on the line. It's the athletic director and the president, because all this money coming in, everybody's going to want the results, and it's not just going to fall on the football coach anymore.
That's exactly right. It sure isn't. It's a team effort up there. Just get the man what he needs, and then throw it back on Coach Traylor. And I have a feeling you get the man what he says he needs, he's going to produce a winner.
God bless the birds up.
Absolutely. It's funny because Joey Maguire used the term all in. And I didn't see all in this letter from Lisa Campos, although she kind of implies that. And all I could think about is old Jerry Jones talking about what it's like to be all in.
There's two different versions?
Yes.
Everybody
can have their own definition of what that means, but I've never not known us to be all in.
Yeah, that was Steven. That's his version of all in. Gary?
Your definition of what is all in and mine might not be the same thing.
Yeah. Well, let's just do all in air quotes. And
this drought that
drought,
people say we're in terms of a championship game or a Super Bowl.
So we just, anything that the Jones family says, we're going to say air quote now. Air quote.
Well, no air quotes about this one. De'Aaron Fox is a Spur. We're talking about it coming up. Our friend Don Harris from News 4 will join us here on the Blitz. You think about the Spurs in action tonight. We got the big game Sunday. Underdog is the best place for you to have a lot of fun watching the games. Legal and available to play in the great state of Texas, and the best app for your big game party is on your phone. It's called Underdog. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the big game. And, of course, all the basketball this week with their Pick'em game. Love playing the Pick'em game where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on predicted stats. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. You can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. And every dog deserves a second chance. And with Underdog Rescues, you can get your money back and receive a promo if an early injury causes your entry to lose. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. So download the Underdog app, sign up with my promo code STAR, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, use promo code STAR when you sign up at Underdog.
The Morning Huddle.
I was looking at houses yesterday, and this house had in one of the bedrooms like a big hook where you could tell like.
Oh, that they had a swing in
I
there.
know what you're doing with that.
Chair actually going on in there. I may or may not have those in my room right now.
Oh,
so you're
Vic's hanging from it, like a hanging from his penis, just hanging so it'll stretch. Like he's like spinning around, like he looks like.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Having a party for the big game? Let Smoky Mo's handle the barbecue. Go with the Big Game Rib Party Pack. 3 pounds of delicious Smoky Mo's slow smoked ribs, plus sides. Or get the Tailgate Party Pack, a buffet in a box with brisket, turkey, sausage, and sides. Add in a Baker Bar Group Pack. The chopped baked potato bar is perfect for groups. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue that will make your big game party super. Order online at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
On Super Sunday, you could be the crunch time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own crunch time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
Are you facing divorce, a child custody battle, or a complex family dispute? AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks brings unique experience to the table. As a veteran and first responder, he knows the challenges, he knows the pressure, and he knows how to fight for what's yours. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat-free representation from beginning to end and payment plans so you can get representation now. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SLASH to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SLASH to 321321. That's SLASH to 321321.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. De'Aaron Fox is a member of the San Antonio Spurs. And it didn't cost the Spurs near what I thought it was going to cost them. Let's talk about it with Don Harris from News 4. You guys over there at News 4 reporting all last week that it was close, your sources. I'm surprised it was as inexpensive as it was. I thought it was going to cost a lot more to get them, Don. When you think about the trade and how it went down, were you surprised at what the return was for from San Antonio?
Well, thanks a lot, guys. First of all, glad to be with you. Joe Reinagel, the man with the greatest hair in radio. Jason Minix, the man single-handedly keeping pork rinds alive in the world.
Hey, well, nothing wrong with that, thing, man. Yeah. I mean, Pork Rind Appreciation Day is this Sunday.
Okay, I love it. The deal changed, man. From what I gathered last week to the deal that went down. Look, I knew that Castle was never on the table. I knew they weren't going to – that was a non-starter, so that didn't surprise me. What surprised me was that Atlanta's #1 in 25 they were able to hang on to without giving up Devin or Jeremy or Keldon. And it was miraculous to me that they come away with De'Aaron Fox. They keep their own #1 this year. They keep Atlanta's #1 this year, which, by the way, could be Cooper Flagg. You never know.
Could be.
It could be, it could be a top 10 pick. It's a very deep draft anyway. And they don't give up. Like, I thought Devin might be in the deal. I thought Keldon was in the deal. I know Keldon was in a deal last week. Now, what changed was the 4-team deal that I reported last Friday blew up over the weekend. 2 of those teams moved out, and the Kings and Spurs had to go find Chicago. And so that's what changed. And that's why I guess when that changed, the Kings didn't require as much because they got Zach LaVine. So the Kings come out of this deal with 6 #1s and Zach LaVine. I mean, 6 picks, 3 #1s and 3 #2s, and Zach LaVine and CD Sissoko. So they can look in the mirror and feel pretty good about that. Had they not gotten Zach LaVine, they would have required another player or 2 from San Antonio.
Yeah, I think Chicago saved the day when it came to that. I think you're exactly right, Don. When you look at this deal and the way that it came down, and I think obviously it's a great piece, but there are still some holes to be filled in this Spurs team. Obviously a big guy. I think Charles Bassey's the one big guy the Spurs have right now. Do you see anything happening between now and Thursday, or is this it for the Spurs?
Well, I definitely think that it could, and there's a couple of reasons. One, they still have so much capital and assets. So in other words, now they could move Devin for an equal player at just a different position. They could move Jeremy. They could move Keldon and a pick or 2 picks. They have so much draft capital and player assets that I could see them moving somebody for equal value at a different position. I think they need a sniper or 2 3-point shooting, and I think they need a big guy. I love the fact that, a good example last week was when Wemby got pushed around a little bit by Zubac of the Clippers. They need a Zubac type guy, a Valanciunas type guy. They need a big guy who can guard the guys so that Wemby doesn't have to, so that Wemby can play facing the basket. They definitely need that. And I think a good passing big like that would be even more helpful. And they need, like a guy that was in this deal, Kevin Huerter. They need a sniper. And so I think it's very possible. The second reason I think it could happen, not just because they have the assets, is that I think the Luka trade emboldened GMs to be a little more risky and to maybe try some things. The Spurs are smarter than most, and they're more conservative than most. Like in this deal, they waited for the right time to pounce. They collected all of those assets and all of those trades, going back to when they got 3 number 2s for Jason Richardson and a number 2 and a number 1 for Derek White, and for, you name anybody they traded over the last few years, DeJounte and DeMar and Jakob Poeltl. They always would acquire a pick or 2. And now they're using that capital. So they're careful. They don't have to do it now. They could do it in the summertime. And they will continue to acquire talent. But the market might be ripe over the next 72 hours because teams are a little freaked out over the Luka trade. And you might find a sucker. Gosh, we know we got one in Chicago and one in Sacramento that the Spurs just keep picking on and just fleecing. And so maybe there's another one out there.
Don, as we visit with Don Harris from News 4 here on the Buyers Barricades guest line, you mentioned that, and Brian Wright, right or wrong, takes a lot of heat from a lot of Spurs fans. He should be doing a victory lap around the city today. Brian Wright pulling off the trade that he did, how much does that change his public perception, do you think?
Well, it shouldn't change it at all because he's been right a lot. The DeJounte Murray trade was a fleecing. The Dillingham trade on draft night was exactly what they should have done. I went back and looked at my Twitter feed from that night, and all these people, why are we picking for a 31 pick? This guy's in the 6th grade right now. And I tweeted that night back to these guys. They're not going to draft anybody in 31. They're loading up, and they're going to trade for an all-star with 7 picks, either next summer or either this summer or next. They're going to trade 7 picks for an all-star. And what did they do yesterday? They traded 7 picks for an all-star. So he knows what he's doing. The people that criticize Brian Wright don't know basketball. Brian Wright's not being criticized by GMs in the NBA. They're being criticized. He's being criticized by armchair GMs in their mom's basement with an anonymous Twitter account. So I don't think that he should be doing the victory lap. The DeJounte Murray trade was genius. And I don't know that he screwed up really anything that I can think of. I think, you could say, okay, they missed on Jalen Williams, the all-star from Oklahoma City. I think they took Sohan. And they missed on Halliburton. They took Vassell 1 pick higher than Tyrese Halliburton. So you can, nitpick those little things, but Devin's a good player. Jeremy's a good player. It's not like they completely whiffed. They whiffed on Primo. But
there's jokes there, Don.
Yeah.
Huh?
There's jokes there.
Oh, yeah. Well, the greatest defense line ever, by the way. But never mind.
Don, I got to ask you, because I've been when Keldon Johnson came here, I was a big fan. I thought this was a great pick. I think this guy's going to develop into a big star in this league. He hasn't. And I'm just thinking, in my mind, he's reached his ceiling. I was shocked that he has not been traded yet. And maybe that's why. Maybe nobody sees the value in Keldon Johnson. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Keldon Johnson?
I wish he was a better three-point shooter. Look, everybody loves Keldon's heart, and everybody loves Keldon as an individual. He's a garbage man. You know, he's the guy that's going to hustle. He's going to drive you crazy with turnovers, and he doesn't always look to pass, especially to Wemby. Last year drove me really crazy. I think he's above average rotation player. I don't know that he's definitely not a starter on this team and won't be. I'm nowhere near as high on him as I am on the other three, Castle being the first, and then Devin, and then Jeremy. But yeah, Keldon is dispensable, I guess you would say, tradable. But I think Devin is more valuable. I think you could get more for Devin. I think Devin is seen around the league as a guy who can get a bucket. But now that you have a guy scoring 25 at the point in Fox and another 20-point scorer in the future in Castle on the wing, I think you could afford to lose Devin for a really good big. And get more in return for Devin, because I think Devin is more highly valued around the league than Keldon is.
Don Harris from News 4 here on the Blitz. I'd be okay with that, as long as the return for Devin is De'Aaron Fox-like. Now that De'Aaron Fox is a Spur, won't see him tonight, maybe Wednesday. Obviously, he's a starter. Is Chris Paul still going to start? How do you see the lineup? Who's the starting five for the Spurs?
I don't know right away. I mean, obviously, going into the later part of this year and into next year, De'Aaron Fox is starting point guard. It may take Chris Paul a week or two to turn the torch over for De'Aaron to get comfortable in minutes and in rotations. Look, they're going to want to put Fox and Wemby together right away to start working on this pick and roll. I mean, that's going to be their bread. We got Stockton and Malone, boys. We got Stockton and Malone, boys. Yeah. It's going to be a wonderful thing for years to come. And they're going to want to start getting that worked out. I thought about that this morning too, Jason. I thought about, I worry a little about Chris because he's so chippy and he's so competitive, and is he going to handle this the right way? I think at this point in his career, Chris Paul is going to be the greatest mentor and the greatest team player and the greatest I'm on board with team. In his earlier parts of his career, I wouldn't have thought that. I thought he'd bicker his way out or something. I think he's past that. I think he now sees himself as Uncle Chris, as Pop's right hand, and as a guy who's going to make sure that this works. And I sure hope that's the case.
I do too, Don, because, I mean, you don't go get a De'Aaron Fox and have him coming off the bench. You just don't do that. Chris Paul's future, though, I see as a coach in this league. And I would love to see, I don't know, maybe he calls it a day after this year and Pop brings him along and lets him sit right there next to him as one of the assistant coaches. Do you see that happening, or you think Chris Paul still wants to play another year or two?
I don't know. I think he'll play another one. Based on how he's playing really good. And I think he could play another year if he wanted to. Guys with that much money and guys with that kind of careers, these Hall of Fame players like Tim Duncan, found out there's a lot of work in coaching, man. And you got to get on airplanes and you got to do scouting reports. And those guys work too hard, right? It's fun for guys that didn't make $1 zillion, but I don't know. Chris Paul's probably made $500 million or more in his career. So I don't know if he wants to coach. I'll tell you this. My brother-in-law coached him years ago in the NBA and told me this. Chris Paul is by far the smartest player I've ever coached. He coached Grant Hill. He coached Steve Nash. He coached a lot of really Grant Hill. Who else did I say? Steve Nash. Anyway, he coached a lot of really good, smart players. He said Chris Paul is by far the smartest player I've ever coached, and Chris Paul would be by far the smartest coach and the best coach if that's what he wanted to do.
That's crazy.
He could be a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
He's like Doc. He's like Doc, Steve, Kerr, Pop, those guys. He's that smart, and he's that gifted at communicating.
And for those that don't know, your brother-in-law is Alvin Gentry. So, yeah, he would know. Don Harris, the uniform czar, got a note, message.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Ben says, I hate to say it, Castle, Wemby, and Fox, 512, the Austin area code.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Here we go. His first home game will be in Austin.
Yeah, did you see my first tweet this morning when I broke the story that he was going to wear number 2? I said Area 51 is safe with Castle and Wemby, and he's going to wear number 2. And so I think Area 21 has a nice ring to it as well. Tim Duncan forever.
How about that?
Sweet.
As it should
We're not going to come.
When this TV thing ends, man, you got to start writing for Hallmark.
I'm just glad you guys didn't bring up the other number 2 when talking about this jersey.
No.
Well,
Well, that's the good news
The
now.
fact that we, I don't know. How do we reference that guy? We won't say his name. It's just,
Well, I think it kind of wipes some of the stink off of the number 2. Having De'Aaron Fox, who's a pretty good guy. So I'm all for it.
And I think as a quality all-star and a player that he is in the future, with Wemby being a championship type future possibly, that they hoist a couple of rings and a couple of banners, I think we could retire number 2.
Absolutely.
It will be just with Fox on it.
Yes.
I will tell you this. I will take it to my grave. I don't know if I will outlive R.C. Buford or Coach Pop or Peter John Holt. But I will tell you this. Kawhi Leonard's jersey will never be retired as long as any of those guys are drawing breath on planet Earth.
As it should be, Don.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Not that this matters. Jack Thompson, Rob's kid, just texted me and said, how about thing 1 and thing 2?
These kids.
Isn't
that sweet?
That is. That's good stuff.
I like it.
That's good
They got
stuff.
1, they got 2, they got 3 with Chris Paul, and they got 5. We just need a 4.
Funny, and that's what I think they need to go find before the deadline.
Yeah, maybe a big man.
I agree with you guys. Who, now that Sabonis is on the market, man, let's go get him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Can you imagine? Sacramento might be dumb enough to do it.
I don't know.
Would you guys
call your brother-in-law and make it happen?
No, he's not in charge of that. He didn't do any of that. But can you imagine if Sacramento? I mean, they're shopping him to what, Memphis, right?
Yeah.
If they shopped, would you give him Devin? Would you give him Devin Kelvin, Atlanta's 25 number 1 for Sabonis?
Maybe. Although seeing what we just gave up for De'Aaron Fox, I think we might be able to go with Mamu, Bassi, and Jeremy to get that done.
And that 2031 pick.
Yes.
Golly, what an amazing job Brian Wright has done.
I tell you what, yeah, and Spurs fans should celebrate. I mean, honestly, this is fantastic.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Don, always appreciate it, man. We got to run.
Thanks, Don.
I got to go get me some pork rinds.
There you go. Hey, Sunday, Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Celebrate appropriately. Go to porkrinds.com and you could register and win tickets to next year's game, too.
Okay. I'm in.
Good stuff. Don Harris from News 4 on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. You think about the game this Sunday. We'll be in New Orleans starting tomorrow for our AA Best Bail Bonds radio road coverage. Roger Goodell talking today. Perception? Penalties? We'll let you know what the commission had to say. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're dealing with any issues at the house with your plumbing, your heater, hell, if you turned your AC on today and had a problem, call Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899, 651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are full service. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. 651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
George gets justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for my good friends over at Prize Picks. It is now or never. The big game is almost here. Don't miss out on the last big one of the season. And Prize Picks is the absolute best place to win cash while watching the big game. And I'm talking about serious cash, 1,000 times your money. And it is so easy to do. And on top of that, we've got money for you. Just check out the promos tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie winners. Big game lineups, you can get them. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win up to $1 million. That's part of the promo finds. That's why you go to Prize Picks. I'll tell you what, you want some cash? Use the code Alamo. You get $50 instantly after you play your first game. That's a $5 lineup with 2 times the money. Let's go play Prize Picks. You've been putting it off all year long, or you've been playing along with the other 10 million. Prize Picks is the place to be. Go run your game.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
You know, you're right. I love my Connecticut too. My diapers never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me, but you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com. License number 38961.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Texans, they have a new offensive coordinator. His name is Nick Cali. He spent the last 2 seasons with the LA Rams. Well, the Spurs are off. They're gone on the rodeo road trip. In fact, gone until March. They start off that 12-game rodeo trip tonight in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock. Wemby is questionable with an illness. That illness kept him out of Saturday's game against Miami as well.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio.
Yeah.
You know this for a fact?
Working it.
All right. Well, there's something else going on Thursday in New Orleans. Uh-huh.
Like what?
Well, like cigars.
Oh, the cigar party. Yeah. No. I'm working on getting him on the show.
Oh!
He'll be in the building on Thursday, I know of, because the halftime show press conference and all the entertainers. He's not a part of the halftime show. That's the guy that took all the Grammys last night, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
But, like, he's part of the pregame stuff, and so that press conference is on Thursday. I think Hall J, we're in Hall H. So
got to bring his trombone.
Maybe he'll come by Radio Row and do some stuff.
Yeah.
Not confirmed yet.
All right.
Like Emmitt Smith, confirmed.
Confirmed.
Darren Woodson, confirmed.
Yeah.
Trombone Shorty, working on it.
All right.
AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage tomorrow. Now, Roger Goodell having his press conference today, the State of the NFL. We talked about it a lot last week. Perception of the officials and Patrick Mahomes getting the call. And, well, let's just say Roger Goodell doesn't think that the NFL has a perception problem.
Well, this sort of reminds me a little bit of the script, right? That I write a script, and I have the script for the entire season. Listen, I think from a lot of those theories are things that happen in social media, and they get a new life. As you say, it's not your theory, but it's out there. Nobody wants it to be their theory. And so I understand that. I think it reflects a lot of the fans' passion. And I think it also is a reminder for us how important officiating is. And I think the men and women that officiate in the NFL are outstanding. They have the highest possible standards. That's ridiculous theory for anyone who might take it seriously. But at the end of the day, it's something we always have to continue to work on. How do we make our officiating better at all times? And if you look at the Chiefs' record, which I think is an amazing thing, people talk about the competitiveness of our league. The Chiefs, with their 15 wins, 15-2 this year, 11 of those 15 games were within one score. And I think that talks about the competitiveness of our game and the importance of how we officiate it, but also the competitiveness of how we play it.
Well, Roger Goodell is an expert salesman, and that's exactly what he did right there. Look, I don't believe that there's a conspiracy theory. However, the perception, and it's not just fans on social media. Yeah, late night comedians doing that. You got the host of the Grammys making comments about it. I mean, everybody's talking about this, so you can't just write it off as some social media, conspiracy theory. It's out there, and people think that the officiating rolls to the way of the Kansas City Chiefs. Whether you believe it or not, or you think it's ridiculous or not, that is the perception. And with everything you have on the line, Mr. Goodell, when it comes to gambling, fan base, all of the above, it needs to be fixed. It absolutely needs to be fixed.
I think that was a great answer for him to say at a press conference, knowing that behind closed doors when they're having meetings, he probably has a very different tone and concern. That answer, you could tell this PR people had him well prepared for that question. Even starting with the scriptwriter joke.
Yes.
It's comical. I'm just curious where on that script it says Myles Garrett is going to end up, because he has demanded a trade. Myles Garrett in a Cowboy uniform.
Demand or just ask for?
He asked nicely.
Yeah.
He's requested a trade.
He's requested a trade.
He's demanding out of Cleveland.
Sure. Well, who the hell wouldn't want to get the hell out of Cleveland?
Exactly. He's demanding. Let's talk about the NFL. Coming up here on the Blitz, we'll talk about De'Aaron Fox coming to San Antonio, and I don't know, Luka going to the Lakers. Luka. What a day. What a day. And you think about, all this news on the Monday kicking off Super Bowl week. It's incredible. Incredible. More on that coming up, plus a Mellow Mushroom gift card to give away here on the Blitz. Guys, if you're lacking energy, moody, your libido isn't what it used to be, could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Go get tested. I recommend the providers at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, because their personalized TRT goes well beyond standard treatments. Not all TRT is the same. At Synergenics, you'll get a personally optimized TRT treatment plan from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy. Book that initial appointment now at synergenicshealth.com. Testosterone starts to decline in your 30s, so if you're feeling a loss of energy and drive, it could be low T. Go get checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, where they also have affordable GLP-1 weight loss options. And for current patients, Synergenics offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. So get started, get that VIP treatment with the TRT experts at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com. Book that initial appointment now. SYNERGENX health.com for Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for Super Bowl 59.
I like this kind of party.
The Philadelphia Eagles face the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday at 5:30. The Chiefs, led by MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes, aims for an unprecedented third consecutive Super Bowl victory, a feat never achieved in NFL history. Meanwhile, the Eagles, with a formidable defense and a dynamic offense, are ready to challenge the reigning champions. Don't miss a moment of this historic matchup, presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Sunday at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for Super Bowl 59.
When life changes fast, you need a lawyer who's been there. AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks offers unique experience as a veteran and first responder to give you a strategic, results-driven approach. Facing divorce, child custody battle, or a complex family dispute, the Hicks Law Firm offers flat-fee representation from beginning to end, so you know exactly what to expect with no surprises. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win. The Hicks Law Firm.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Having a party for the big game? Let Smoky Mo's handle the barbecue. Go with the Big Game Rib Party Pack. 3 pounds of delicious Smoky Mo's slow smoked ribs, plus sides. Or get the Tailgate Party Pack, a buffet in a box with brisket, turkey, sausage, and sides. Add in a Baker Bar Group Pack. The chopped baked potato bar is perfect for groups. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue that will make your big game party super. Order online at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. We've got a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom that we'll give away right now because it's a Mellow Monday. Although
Mellow Monday.
It has been anything but with all the trades going on. So we added a De'Aaron Fox. He's going to wear number 2.
I like that.
Wemby's wearing number 1. We kept Steph Castle number 5.
Uh-huh.
So we got 5, 1, and 2, trying to use all those numbers. That all equals 8. So caller 8. Those that gift card to Mellow Mushroom is yours. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
That was very clever of you. Took you a while to add all that up, though.
Oh, I was counting in my head.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's 8, Pledge. It's still 8.
Still.
Pledge is still trying to count.
Just double checking your math.
Because he's going thing 1 and thing 2.
I need to use an abacus.
Yes.
Yeah.
An abacus.
Abacus.
An abacus.
How'd you learn that? You know, I learned how to add touchdowns.
Well, yeah.
Sevens. I can nail sevens. No problem.
Yeah?
Yeah.
7 times 8.
56.
7 times 9.
63.
7 times 3.
21.
There you go.
Nailed it. Come on, man. Don't.
All right, 7 times 4, but 2 field goals were also kicked.
Then that would be what, 33?
Or 4.
Or 4. You threw me with a field. I didn't say I was good at threes.
Well, you said touchdowns.
I said touchdowns. With the extra point, by the way.
But what if they got a 2-point conversion?
Well,
or they missed one?
When I was learning math, there was no such thing as a 2-point conversion in the NFL.
There was.
Not in the NFL.
Really?
No. When I was in school? When did they bring the 2-point conversion in?
You need the Google box for that. I couldn't tell you. I've always thought there was a 2-point conversion.
No, that hasn't been a thing that long.
You're not that much older than me, just a decade, but my goodness, I thought there was always the 2-point conversion, just nobody did it.
Nope, I don't think so.
All right, so you're Googling?
1994.
That was it?
Wow.
That's it? That's when they added in the 2-point conversion?
That's what the Googles say. 25 years after the merger, the 2-point conversion. Do you know who scored the first one?
I don't know. The Cleveland Browns.
I don't either. So I was like, well,
what's it say?
It was the Cleveland Browns.
It was.
They run.
Boom!
Tom Tupa scored the first 2-point conversion in NFL history, running in a faked 1-point attempt. So they lined up for an extra point and faked it and ran it in for a 2-point conversion. First week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals, the 1994 season.
Dude, that's awesome.
How about that?
That is incredible. I had no idea.
That's actually longer ago than I thought, but
I don't know why. I mean, 94 is 20.
Yeah, growing up in the 80s, basically, late 70s, 80s.
Who?
Me.
Oh, because I grew up in the 80s.
I grew up in the 70s.
I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s.
That's fantastic.
1994.
1994.
Wow.
And now, that's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like 30 years ago. That's nuts.
So Myles Garrett has requested a trade. Demanded. If you're the Cowboys, are you at least making the phone call? Or do you just assume that he's going to be too expensive?
Well, he's too expensive, right? Isn't he on a big deal now? Let me see here.
Yes.
I mean, I would assume. But he's, I thought he was older than that. He's only been in the league, 8 years? He's only 29 years old. So there's going to be a lot of trade requests. It's going to depend on what Cleveland wants in return. So it'd be interesting. Look, it'd be fantastic if the Cowboys were to make a move. And you talk about going all in, and if somehow you can get a Myles Garrett, you keep Micah Parsons, and you're talking about one hell of a pass rush. I mean, my gosh, I don't know what you do. Seriously.
He's got 2 years left, 25 non-guaranteed, though. Cleveland has said, or they said prior to this request being made today, that they would not trade him, even for 2 first-round picks. My first thought is, I don't know if I'm Jerry, I give up a first-round pick, and then you convince me in about 3 seconds, he's better than what you're going to get in the first round, and that's one way of keeping Jerry from drafting Ashton Genty in the first round.
Well, he'd be much better. He's got $20 million this year and then $25 in 2026. None of that's guaranteed?
According to Pledge.
All right, well, I would love to see that happen. I mean, the Cowboys have other issues to deal with, but I can only imagine. I mean, teams might be actually scared to death to throw the football against Dallas.
Look, Jerry was all in last year. Maybe he really means it this year. They did say they're going to do things a little bit differently. By Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons. Holy crap.
Well, Lamar Jackson came out, too, today and said he wants Myles Garrett, which I would imagine everybody on every team would like to have a Myles Garrett.
Yes. I mean, but are you willing to part with whatever Cleveland is looking for? I mean, keep in mind, Cleveland, they're not going anywhere, and he's basically saying that. I want to win a Super Bowl. What a great line. I didn't come to Cleveland to get to Canton. His goal is to win a Super Bowl, and he knows there's no hope of them winning Super Bowl, especially with that awful Deshaun Watson contract hanging over their head. And who knows if he's going to play Watson next year. So he wants out. And who else is going to follow suit and go to Cleveland in free agency that is chasing a Super Bowl? I mean, they'll get players. They always do. There's only so many jobs out there, and money talks. But at this point, Myles Garrett, will he rework a deal to get to a contender? Now, he also wants to win a Super Bowl, so does that take Dallas off of his list?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. There are a lot of teams out there that are a player or two away, a player like Myles Garrett. And the guy's, he's in his prime. He's only 29 years old. So he's got a few years left. I think he's going to be highly sought after. And I believe that as the phone rings in Cleveland, there's going to be a deal that they're going to be willing to take, I would imagine. And who wants an unhappy Myles Garrett? Now, Cleveland could turn around and say, well, look, the last 2 years of your contract are not guaranteed, so we're going to give you $1 bazillion. And that might change his mind about playing in Cleveland.
True, and probably does in a lot of ways because money talks.
Sure.
But, again, after what we saw this weekend, anything is possible. The fact that the Spurs got De'Aaron Fox for pennies on the dollar, when you look at the players that departed, right? Non-starters. All non-starters for the Spurs for an all-star. Unbelievable how inexpensive he was. And I know the Spurs gave up a lot of picks, but that's what they've been saving for.
Absolutely.
I'm stunned. I know there were some out there that thought they could get a deal like that. I didn't think it was possible because if I'm Sacramento, I wanted, if Steph is off the table, at least a Devin Vassell. At least a Keldon Johnson.
Well, I think for Sacramento, though, they got the guy they wanted. And that may be why they said, look, we got to bring in Chicago. What's the interest in Zach LaVine? And is that going to be a possibility? And it turns out it was. So I think Sacramento, in that respect, made out pretty well. So I think Chicago, the Spurs and Spurs fans owe Chicago a little debt of gratitude there. That helped with everything. I would love to see them go out and address something else, even if it's not a huge name big guy, but just somebody that can protect the rim and take those big fellas off of Victor Wembanyama so he can move a little bit freer and not have to worry about those big dudes. So it doesn't have to be a blockbuster deal like this one was, but I would sure like to see them go out and get a big guy. They're almost going to have to, Jason. They got one guy. Unless you like Sohan playing down there, and I don't.
They need a big, and they need a shooter. What did Don Harris call a sniper? They need somebody that can hit threes. Now, whether they do that by Thursday, and I hope they do. It seems like there's guys available after the Luka trade. There's no GM out there worried about looking stupid right now because nobody looks stupid than that Nico Harrison guy in Dallas, right? I mean, like, he has set the bar like, you guys can do whatever you want this week. It ain't going to be as bad as that. You gave up Luka in his prime.
25 years old. I mean, I can't fathom that. And, again, somebody just got cold fingers or to write that check because he was due a Supermax contract. But I mean, you've got the Sands, you've got the casino people writing these checks now.
There's got to be more to it. And over time, maybe we find out they don't want to give him the Supermax. He's not going to stay without it. Were there indications from his people that he wasn't going to sign the Supermax? So you got as much as you could for him. But even then, Nico did a deal with his buddy, Rob Pelinka, and nobody else knew. It felt like you could have got so much more. And just, clearly Mark Cuban is not in charge anymore.
No, he's not.
And Mark Cuban famously said at one point, because we've all seen it since the trade, he would have traded his wife before Luka. He also said at one point he would never sell the Dallas Mavericks, yet here we are. Our good friend Michelle Beadle and Chandler Parsons on their FanDuel TV show Run It Back share an exchange because I guess Chandler texted Mark Cuban for comment.
Gotta wonder what Cuban thinks of all of this. Obviously, he's not the majority owner anymore. He's still in the mix, though. You think he's thrilled about this?
I texted him, and I said, I'm so confused, and he wrote back, that makes two of us. So that kind of tells you right there he wasn't involved. And by the way, this new ownership, Patrick Dumont and Adelson family, they're business people, right? They're Vegas casino, real estate moguls. They know nothing about the NBA and basketball, so they have fully given Nico the keys to do decisions and make big, bold moves like this. So I believe Mark. I think this is just more of a shock the comment he said now is coming to light about, filing on Monday, which obviously is getting pulled back to light. But yeah, I mean, I texted him and he literally said that makes two of us. So he's probably just as shocked as we all are.
Well, obviously he's shocked. I mean, Luka's Luka. Everybody was shocked. Even Sham Sharania said he thought his phone was hacked. I mean, when that guy thinks his phone is hacked, I mean, it was just, I saw it, and I'm like, there's no way.
No way.
I mean, it was just so bizarre, and I just don't understand it. And again.
Clown show?
Yeah, clown show is a damn good word for it.
Heard that a lot on the Instagram video at SA Sports Star.
Yeah, if you like the word or the phrase clown show, go watch my Instagram video today, because it is a clown show. It was a comparison between a clown show and a franchise that held a master class in trading, and obviously I'm talking about the Spurs and the Mavericks. And so, clown show. I don't know how you do that. Nothing against AD. All right, nothing. Fine player, great player, probably going to be a Hall of Fame player before it's all said and done. But to trade that piece of your franchise that could have been the next Dirk Nowitzki and stayed there forever, how do you do that?
Beyond me. The way the whole trade was done, and again, if you're a Maverick fan, you're getting Anthony Davis. That's nothing to sneeze at. But you gave up Luka, who's 25 years old. Makes no sense.
I wonder how Anthony Davis feels now. Although I think he and LeBron kind of weren't getting along. Let's just put it that way.
I mean,
LeBron denies that, but
Anthony and Kyrie. I mean, again. You gave up Luka at 25 years old. There's nothing that makes that make sense. Although if you're Nico trying to justify it, they still have a good team. They have a window, although it's a lot shorter now because Anthony Davis is so much older than Luka. That's the crazy thing when you think about the way that whole trade went down. Then, of course, you see what the Spurs do in getting De'Aaron Fox and what they gave up, which is crazy. We'll talk about it. Bobby Marks from ESPN will join us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs are in action tonight, and, of course, you got the big game on Sunday. And here in Texas, the good news is Underdog is available in the great state of Texas, and it's the best app for your big game party. It's on your phone. It's called Underdog, the best place to cash in on all your takes. I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on predicted stats. You know, with basketball, points, rebounds, block shots, assists, football, passing yards, rushing yards, you name it. You can make that as a part of your Pick'em entry. It's the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hand. They even have Underdog double flex option where you can take 2 L's and turn them into a W. Love playing at Underdog, the best place to play Pick'em. Download the Underdog Fantasy app, sign up with promo code STAR, deposit, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, use promo code STAR when you sign up at Underdog.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, we'll talk Spurs. De'Aaron Fox isn't there yet, but the Grizzlies were on tap. We'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, we'll see what other moves shake out before the NBA trade deadline. And, oh yeah, there's a football game on Sunday. We'll get into some Super Bowl talk. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Transform your water with Kinetico. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon.
Call 656-PURE Kinetico.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Make it your New Year's resolution to drink better beer. That's what I'm talking about. Who needs dry January? Let's go all in with Karbach, baby. Karbach Brewing out of Houston, but they love San Antonio, and their beer is all over the city. Their head brewer came here and said, we want San Antonio to be a priority market for us, so they have put their beer all over our fair town. From Hopadillo, their in-your-face hopped IPA, to Love Street, which is their blonde Kolsch-style beer, and it's their best seller, by the way. On top of that, the Crawford Bock, which is one of my personal favorites. There's something for everyone in Karbach's lineup. So go to the grocery stores, go to the liquor stores, they're going to have it, and you might be surprised. All the bars and restaurants that you might think not have it probably do have some Karbach behind the bar. So whenever you're out watching football, watching playoff football, ask the bartender, please make it a Karbach.
From a fender bender to a total loss, Davis Law Firm has a team of expert attorneys ready to get you back on the road with the verdict or settlement you deserve. Y hablamos español. Want more? Call the Fours. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio, 444-4444.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in the Big Easy.
It's showtime, let's do it!
And the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from New Orleans. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour.
This is exactly where we want to be!
From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all.
I like this kind of party.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Flight by Yingling, Circle Las Vegas, Smoky Moe's Barbecue, Synergenics, Testosterone and Weight Loss, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from New Orleans, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. This is Game Night San Antonio on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Every game night, The Blitz with Jason and Joe get you inside and ready for tonight's game. Players, coaches, insiders. This is Game Night San Antonio. And the pregame starts right now.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. Search for and subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. In the last 30 minutes or so, the Spurs sent out the press release making the De'Aaron Fox trade official. Let's talk about it. Bobby Marks from ESPN, former NBA GM, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Bobby, I know it's a busy day for you. Appreciate you jumping on. When I look at this trade that Brian Wright and the Spurs staff were able to pull off, how did they get De'Aaron Fox without giving up a Devin Vassell or a Jeremy Sohan? It feels like they got him a lot cheaper than I thought he would be.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think certainly for San Antonio, it's kind of like if there's a walkaway deal, especially where you could revisit this in the off season here. I said it last week, and I said it earlier. The hardest thing for front offices is to kind of show restraint. And when you show restraint based on all the draft picks that you had accumulated, the 12th first, and certainly your young players with Vassell and Castle and Johnson and Sohan, and not be able to put any of those in the deal and still retain the two Atlanta picks and the swap rights, in the future here, it's pretty remarkable as far as what they were able to do. Obviously, Sacramento was looking for, they do get a couple picks, 2 first, and what equates to 5 seconds. Then they were looking for a player, like Zach LaVine, who kind of keeps them in contention, trying to fight for a play-in. So there's really good job by San Antonio. It sets them up, certainly, if there's another move, whether it be this offseason. Certainly, you potentially have 2 lottery picks, which could be really enticing to add to this roster.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, Bobby, you're not hearing about the Spurs. Have they gone quiet? Are they not going to try and do anything before Thursday? You think this is it for them?
Well, we'll see. I mean, the deal wasn't just to get, you're not making deals just to get into playing. You're looking at deals long term. There is always a kind of a knee-jerk reaction because whenever there's a deadline, people react differently. I think you could certainly figure out. I think the smart thing, and I said this even if they hadn't gone out with De'Aaron, figure out kind of who you are as a team, who fits around Victor. And I think that's the thing to do is kind of, you go into, use the last, 35, 40 games, see how this relationship works, what other pieces that we have to add in the offseason, and then go out and figure that out. The worst thing you want to do is, trade an Atlanta first, one of those picks here, and it doesn't, the player you get doesn't work out here. So I'd be surprised if there's another, big move up their sleeve as far as when we get closer to Thursday.
Interesting. Bobby Marks from ESPN joining us here on the Blitz. I was thinking kind of honestly the opposite. Since you still have a Keldon and you still have so many picks, the need for another big with the departure of Zach Collins is certainly there. But as you study the Spurs roster, what do you look at that you think they need to target, whether it's by Thursday or at some point in the offseason?
Yeah, I think you probably hit it right on the head as far as, getting some depth there. Certainly in your front court, I think you have to figure out, some of your younger players that you've picked, whether it be Wesley or Branham, as far as how those guys kind of fit long term, as far as where you are there. I think I know I understand the point as far as that you'd like to try to go out and do something again. You just got to be careful. You don't. There's not a deadline where you have to basically spend all your money at once. You can certainly save some of your assets, because there's always going to be a team or teams, or there's always going to be a disgruntled player that's going to want to be traded this offseason here. And I think if you use them all by Thursday, you're just not going to have enough liquidity to go out and get a player.
Bobby, I know fans think of things a lot differently. We're more knee jerk than the guys in the front office, that's for sure. And the guys in the front office have to make those difficult decisions. I look at a player like Keldon Johnson, and I was very high on Keldon when he got here, and I thought, man, this guy could really be it. It seems to me, I'm speaking as a fan, Bobby, keep that in mind, that he's hit a ceiling. How do you know when a player has done all he can do for your franchise?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you go through kind of a progression, right? Usually it's, the first 4 years you're on that rookie contract, and then when you get to year 5 and year 6 and they basically have leveled off, that basically could be who that player is. Certainly there are situations where a player goes into to a player you have, as far as, sometimes you max out on from a developmental standpoint, so that's the end goal. I mean, I think as far as, where you are, certainly, with where Keldon is, I think kind of the role, where he is, he's probably in a 6-man role. The good thing is he's on a really good contract that you could use to move if you wanted to.
Bobby Marks from ESPN here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The rumors about De'Aaron Fox coming to San Antonio have been circulating for several days now. When you finally saw what the trade was, all the pieces and parts and what was leaving San Antonio, were you surprised from your seat, or is it kind of what you thought it might be?
No, it's thought of what it might be. I think, listen, a week ago when the Fox news broke, and I talked about it on TV, I tried to put myself in the perspective of Sacramento and say, hey, this is what I would want. This is what I would want, and I know you're not going to get it, whether it be Castle or Johnson, and the Atlanta picks, and certainly the Chicago pick was part of this deal that went to Chicago, back to Chicago. But when you kind of digest it more, and you put yourself in a position of where San Antonio is, where you could say, hey, this is our best offer, we're going to walk away from it. And basically now you're left in Sacramento with somewhat of a distraction of a player that likely would ask out in the offseason. This is kind of what I thought the pick package was. I thought maybe you could have maybe squeezed another first, Adam, considering that Charlotte first is really not a first because it turns into 2 seconds. So yeah, I mean, the AD stuff caught me off guard. That's what catches you off guard.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
What the return was not. It didn't catch me off guard just because of the landscape of kind of where we are with everything.
All right, Bobby, you're the perfect guy to ask in, as you brought it up, because I've been asking everybody, and nobody can make any sense of that trade.
Yeah.
What in the world's going on in Dallas?
Well, it's it's an extremely aggressive general manager. When you look at what they've done the last 3 years, they basically they turn over their roster consistently, and then certainly now it's the biggest chess piece on the board with Luka here. I think there's a lot of different layers to look at it. I mean, there's the layer of certainly there's a relationship with Nico being back his days with Nike and having a relationship with Anthony Davis already. There's a comfort level as far as getting that type of player and that type of person in your building. The identity where they are preaching defense certainly comes into play. There's the layer of you could have put them on the open market and you could have got a lot more. And I don't think Dallas was looking for 7 draft picks. They're looking for a win now type player. But I will say this. The rules of the Supermax, which Luka is no longer eligible for, that's not for you to get deterred and trade a player that's 25 or 26 years old and is in the prime of his career. And the window in Dallas has certainly shortened, from a trying to win a championship, where you have one player who's 32, the other one who's 31. You're in a win now position here. So yeah, it definitely catches you off guard. I would say this, and just going back to my days in New Jersey and Brooklyn, you know your own players the best. You know what's under the hood of the car as far as who they are, injuries, personality-wise, how they fit in better than the other 29 teams. And I think for Dallas, certainly there was certainly concerns as far as paying him 5 for $345 based on fitness, health, and all that. Is it the right move? Man, for the people in Dallas, it better be the right move. For that front office, it better be the right move because the fans there aren't going to give you a mulligan on this one. When you have a generational player like Luka is, I mean, a guy that could retire right now and walk into the Hall of Fame.
I mean, I look at all of that. If the guy wants to eat a hot dog and drink a beer during a timeout, I don't care. Just go do Luka things on the court. I mean, and then you look at the return, and Anthony Davis is certainly no slouch, but they got rid of Luka. From a GM standpoint, in your time working in front offices, it almost feels like, GMs are talking and you don't take that serious, but they did. But from a Dallas standpoint, they only dealt with one team, Rob Pelinka.
Yep.
They didn't try to get the highest bidder. How often does that happen? And it almost feels like, man, malpractice might not be the right word, or maybe it is, but how do you not put that out there and try to get the most you can for a player like Luka?
I just think that Dallas knew. I think they knew who they wanted, right? They basically wanted one player, and that was Anthony Davis. And they basically circled him. And yeah, I understand that it's an extreme rare case. I would say it rarely happens. I think what will happen now though is there's always that hesitancy when you're in a front office, right? I remember just going back in my days with the Nets, and I would tease Billy King, and I would say, Billy, call the Cavs and see if LeBron's available, right? And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if teams now are just more comfortable saying, hey, call the Celtics and see if Jaylen Brown's available. Like where you would never have before, because unless you ask, you just never know, right? So I think that could be an interesting trend that we might see. But you're right. I mean, I think you could have also done nothing, right? You could have also just said, let's get Luka back. Let's see where we are as a roster. Let's see where we are the last 35, 40 games, and then let's figure it out in the offseason to go out and do something.
So, Bobby, when you look at the Lakers now with LeBron and Luka, how do you see those two meshing, if you will?
I still think there's a lot of work to do. I think the roster that Luka left in Dallas was a lot better than the roster that he's walking into with the Lakers. From a meshing standpoint, I think I'm more concerned, how does he fit with Austin Reeves in the backcourt? Certainly from a defensive standpoint, and our team's going to be targeting both guys. They need a center. Do they go out and get a center now, or they figure it out in the offseason here? I think certainly from a usage standpoint, the big question will be, does Luka have the ball in his hands more? How does LeBron fit into that? It's an interesting, it's an interesting dynamic, because for the first time in a long time, really Luka's the face of the Lakers moving forward. It's not LeBron. So it is an interesting dynamic to watch over the next 35, 40 games, and then kind of see what happens this summer.
Certainly got the week started off on a wild way with the trade deadline coming Thursday. Bobby, I know you're extremely busy. Appreciate you jumping on with us this afternoon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Bobby Marks from ESPN on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. You breaking the chair over there?
Apparently
what the hell
so.
did you do?
All kinds of. I just don't want the seat to come off and that thing just go right up
yeah. What'd you do?
Yeah, I'd be spinning.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Spinner, it is the absolute glory hole.
Yeah, don't.
So
really,
why does it say switch Joe's chair after show?
Because I got another chair, and apparently Rob doesn't like this chair. He likes the other one. I prefer this one.
It's harder.
What?
There's not as much cushion on that chair.
On this one
It's
or
hard.
that one? Yeah,
it's definitely
Rob's
hard.
chair.
Rob's chair is harder.
And Rob can low ride. Rob likes to sit way down. See, and this one won't go down as far as he likes to go. Although I feel like a little kid at Thanksgiving dinner here at the kids' table.
Rob likes to sit so far down. It's like his knees are almost up in his chest.
Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but these guys just said Fox just changed his number to number 4. I don't know how they would know that. Is there a report? I haven't seen anything like that. Let's
check Don Harris. Something just happened?
I don't know.
The self-proclaimed uniform czar.
Why would he do that?
Well, because number 2 is not a good number in San Antonio.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, Don Harris, 12 minutes ago. Breaking news from the uniform czar. De'Aaron Fox has changed his mind. He'll wear number 4 in honor of his wife, Renee. San Antonio's own was a McDonald's All-American at Johnson High School and wore number 4 at Texas Tech.
Well, how about that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be number 2 either in San Antonio.
Yeah, see, that's good call.
They might ought to throw that number away and not give it to anybody.
Yep.
How about that?
All right. Well, there you go. Number 4.
Number 4.
Congrats, Don Harris.
Yes.
The uniforms are. Well, I like that better than the potential 512 area code combination of our 3 stars. So I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what is it, 214 now? That's Dallas area code.
There's no 2, sir. We're not using
there's
number
no
2.
2, is it? So let's see. There's a 145.
It's 145. I'm sure there's a 541, but that sounds like something in, I don't know, Midwest.
We need a 789.
Well, 9's in the rafters.
I'm just saying, 789. Isn't that the old
You
joke?
gonna call Jenny?
Isn't that the old joke?
Tomorrow.
Why is 8 scared of 7?
Why is 7?
Why is 8 scared of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
He also knows there's a ticklish little pitch coming up.
I like the Jeff Traylor one.
You're a dumb butt.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're live in New Orleans at 2 o'clock, hopefully.
Yeah, we will be.
I mean,
you're really scared about this?
Dude, we land at 10, and we're on the air at 2.
Because you've got me concerned now.
Right. Well, you should be. I was talking to a friend of mine that was there today, did a little recon work. One, make sure everything at our table is active and running and tested, and it is. So we don't have to worry about trying to find a technician, which tends to happen on day one.
Yes, it does.
So our good friend Paul Catalina has done all of that. Apparently, we had to do all these new photos. So checking in isn't bad. We'll go into Hall J, I think, and reading the stuff. But apparently we stand there, look in a thing, and then you go to the next booth and it prints out your credential and you're good to go.
How about that?
All that facial recognition,
I love that.
So he said it really wasn't long in that part, but getting through security is a pain in the ass.
Security.
Yep. So tomorrow morning, Rob and AJ get going at 6 a.m.
Woo.
And then we're live in New Orleans starting at 2. Extra innings with Pledge coming up here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Conveniently located in the Corey area, they have everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. If you're injured, get to the Ortho Now. Learn more at TSAOG.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line, touchdown Vegas, what a wild finish!
Your home